if you don't want to talk.
To talk, we do that.
Let's see how we do this. Okay, good evening, everybody. Test out my mic here. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Springfield City Council chambers. Today is Monday, August 19th. The time is 6:45. We're really honored to be here tonight by some special Springfield residents and teams that we're happy to honor. We've got some proclamations to go through and present to you. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Councilor LeVar Click-Bruce to start with our first proclamation. Councilor Click-Bruce.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you to the community for coming out to really honor our student athletes. And we also have some adults that are going to be getting recognized tonight as well. But we're going to start with our youth. And first and foremost, before we even begin, I want to pay homage to a legend in this city who has done a lot for the Latino community, but not only the Latino community, but all the communities in the city of Springfield. Let's clap it up for Felix. He has done a lot for the city, even when I was coming up as a young basketball player. And he always hosted tournaments, and really he does it out of his heart, and really has a sense of community. It's not about money. It's not about egos and all this other stuff that goes on with youth athletes. And again, everything that he does comes from the heart. And I really, Felix, Big Will was my mentor, but again, I watch you from afar, and I've got to know you over the years, and you are truly, truly a gentleman. And the kids and the parents are lucky to have you under your tutelage. So again, I just want to recognize you, Coach Felix, for all that you do, and also your wife, because I know what it is. It takes a team, and your wife is always right by your side. So I also want to recognize your wife as well. So with that being said, we're going to get with the proclamations. Felix was like on a hound dog on this too, man. He called me, then called Cater, Councilor Walsh. He might have called Councilor Whitfield. He might have called Councilor Fenton. He wanted to make sure this was done for you all. And that's what it's all about, staying on as counselor and make sure we got it done. So again, Coach Felix, we thank you for your due diligence and really making sure this was happening. So we're going to honor first the two teams before we get to the team that actually won in Puerto Rico. But we also want to recognize Coach David Torres and his 11 and under team Hoops of Honor Elite. They're all under the umbrella of the Springfield Trailblazers. So again, the Springfield City Council, in recognition, is pleased to recognize and congratulate Coach David Torres on coaching his 11 and 12U teams Hoops of Honor, for proudly representing yourselves in the city of Springfield, and also just being a beacon of light, again, showing the kids the right way, not only through basketball, but also, much more importantly, the game of life. And we want to recognize those two teams. If the Hoops of Honor coach is here, Mr. Torres, if not, somebody can come up and represent for him. We have two proclamations for Coach Torres. If somebody want to come up and grab those, Coach Torres. then before I kick it to my colleague, Counselor Walsh, also want to, if Coach Leon Thorne is here, and also Assistant Coach Henry Grimes, if you guys can come to the podium, please.
Come right on up to the podium, yeah.
So, again, we want to congratulate you all. Being a coach myself and starting at the youth level, this is really where, as being a high school coach, where it makes a difference, because having good coaches at the youth level makes it easier for us when we get them at a high school level. And that's really about life, to be honest with you, how it works. We catch them early, and then as they become young adults, young athletes, if they have great soil, when they become student athletes at the higher level, it becomes much easier to coach. So again, thank you all for all that you do. This is a small token that we want to recognize you all for all your hard work that you all have done with our student athletes here in the city of Springfield. So to all the parents, bringing the kids to and from practice, feeding them on the go. Also want to recognize all of our parents too. Kids, clap it up for your parents. Because truly, without the village, without the parents, none of this would be possible. So again, Coach Leon and Coach Grimes, again, the City of Springfield, City Council, in recognition, we are pleased to recognize and congratulate not only the coaches, but also the Springfield Trailblazers. And you all won the 2024 Caribbean International Shootout Championship in the town of, is it Bayamon? Bayamon. Right? Bayamon. All right. Puerto Rico. Stand up. They won it. Let's clap it up. And I just want to also recognize our city clerk who signed all of our proclamation, Gladys Lopez, our city clerk, and all the counselors are on this proclamation, sponsoring this for our student athletes. So before we have our youth come up and give their names, I also want to kick it back to Counselor Fenton to see how he wants to proceed, but I know Counselor Walsh wanted to say a few words as well. So, yeah.
Thank you, Counselor Click Bruce. Counselor Walsh.
I think they're gonna. So what they're gonna do? I think they're gonna say their name.
Oh, okay, this is new tonight, this technology. First of all, I wanted to say how excited I am to have all of you athletes and parents here tonight. You've represented the city of Springfield so well. I'd like to have all the student athletes stand up. We are so proud of you and representing the city of Springfield so well and being champions. We'd like to have all the parents who went or involved, please stand up, especially the mothers. I think, and all the coaches, did we forget anybody? Anybody that's involved, please stand up. Councilor Click Bruce and myself, we have proclamations, so we also have a gift from the city for each of the athletes that we will be giving to them. And I believe you want each of these athletes to come up and introduce themselves. Is that correct, Councilor? So I'll pass it back to you.
And I don't know if any
I'm passing the basketball to Councilor.
So, yeah, I also want to, as we pass the ball, I want to give an assist to see if any of our other councilors want to say a few words before we proceed.
Any other councilors? Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Councilor LeVar Click Bruce. And I definitely want to thank you guys. I want you guys to understand. I'm talking to the youth, you guys over there, the champs. You guys are who I want to be when I grow up. I know it sounds weird, but you guys never stop wanting to win, stop wanting to be better, stop fighting for those goals. See, when we get our age, we stop believing. We just settle in our day-to-day jobs. You guys are my role models. You guys are the champions. And believe me, if we look up to you guys more and listen to you guys more, we'll be greater. So thank you guys. You guys are my role models. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to congratulate the youth and the families that went to Puerto Rico to shoot out those basketballs and just win the game. So I hope you guys had a great time in Puerto Rico. You had a good time? You got to go back and visit. You guys are champions, and I'm really proud that you guys are in our city, the city of Springfield. So thank you.
Councilor Delgado.
I don't want to take too long, but I just want to say congratulations to the international champion Trailblazers. So proud of you guys, and really just want to thank my colleagues, Councilor Click Bruce and Walsh, for this recognition. You guys deserve it. Now, you guys have that championship. You know what it means with championships? You got to defend that honor. So we're looking forward to all the great things you're going to continue to do, not just athletically, but academically, and the work that you're doing. And you're a proud representation for all of us Springfield residents. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Councilor Whitfield.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to say, wow, we got some champions in the house. Let's give a shout out to the champions one more time. Yes. We are so proud in the city of Springfield, but you guys are role models and leaders now, right? And so you got other younger students and younger siblings, maybe, and cousins and friends looking up to you. And so it's important that you know who you represent. When you're out in public, when you're out anywhere, you know how to behave. You have made us proud thus far, so we know that you're going to continue. But you are our future role models. You're actually role models right now. And we want to thank all of your role models who are here today. They might not be a parent. They could be a friend. They could be a grandparent, a guardian, because it takes a village. Right now, I'm looking out at our village, and I couldn't be more proud of our village. So I want to thank everybody involved. I want to thank you guys for your fortitude and everything that you have been doing to get you all to the point that you are today, and that is international champions. So keep up the good work. We look forward to having you right back in here again. So thank you for coming, okay?
And Councilor Allen.
Thanks. I just want
Okay, Councilor Click Bruce, if you'd like to make the presentation.
Yeah, we'd like to make our presentation. Also, if we would just have Coach Felix come on up, Coach Thorne and Coach Grimes come on up. And then if you, I don't know how you want to do it, if you just want to introduce your players, but we do have proclamations for all your players. And then if you want to say a few words, we graciously can do that as well. So. Yeah.
Please. Nice trophy, Coach.
I don't know what word to say thank you, and I'm so grateful that the city council gave the recognition to this young man. They went over there and they represented well not only their families and the Springfield Trailblazers, but the city. On the court and off the court. No complaints about being disrespectful, or the sportsmanship was top-notch, and they won the championship. I've been doing this for many years, going to national, just not because we qualify, but because I want to help the kids build the self-esteem. And then most of us come from single parents, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. Their self-esteem is very low. And it helps to go through an experience like that and get successful. That's huge, because now they're saying we are ambassadors of our city of Springfield. And they had a lot of pressure because they come from the birthplace of basketball. And if people think that because we come from the birthplace of basketball, we are the best players in the world. We're not. But to accomplish that, it was great. The other thing that I want to mention is that a lot of times we have to have a support group. And I want to acknowledge the 413 elites as adults. They, it was like big brothers. They support them. They went to the locker room with them. They look up to them. And they also behave and represented well our city. And I guess one of our center even dressed as the mascot of the 413 elites.
Very nice. Thank you.
I just want to thank the team again for getting out there and performing. We worked hard prior to the tournament. One of the things that made the difference is we were one of the only teams that pressed, ran inbound plays, and actually just ran plays, and that made the difference, just being prepared. You guys went out there and executed. You won, and you earned it. And I want to thank the parents for making it happen, because it wouldn't have happened without them. A lot of them traveled with us and made, the opportunity better just by, running into jams. We have parents there to help us, and that was huge. Always got to thank Felix for bringing me to the Trailblazers, giving me this opportunity, convincing me to go to Puerto Rico because I didn't want to go. But I'm glad I went, and it was probably one of the best experiences of my life, so I appreciate that. I didn't give Henry a shout out earlier for just being a supportive assistant coach whenever he could. He's not always available, but whenever he is, he's always there helping me, and it makes a difference when he's there. 413 Elite, again, Felix just gave him the props for, mentoring the boys and letting them hang out in the locker room and talking to them. They was at our practice, giving us pointers, and it helped out a lot. And everyone else, all of you guys, I appreciate the recognition. You guys coming here out of your time to just, make these kids feel special, make me feel special, and I appreciate it. Jason, I gotta give Jason props because he got a lot going on, leagues, summer camp, and he helps us get our gyms, which helps us get prepared for these games. And, behind the scenes, he's doing a lot of work, and he deserves some recognition too. So, and yeah, and I just appreciate it. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, Coach, we'd love for you to call up your players one by one, and Councilor Click Bruce can present them with their proclamation.
Yeah, what about? Okay.
I'll just do this in order of how they sit in. First, Chris Allen is one of our point guards. He thinks he's a shooting guard, but he's a point guard. He's a tough kid. He fights. And one thing I love about him is he always asks questions. So Chris. Next is Jai. Probably the MVP of this tournament. He made the difference. When games got tight, he was making all the tough plays, and he definitely came out there and helped us bring home this championship. So he's definitely one of the more important players to perform out there. And so I appreciate you coming out there to help us, and good job. Thank you. Nice work. Good job. Evans, Guy Evans. Next is Evan. Evan has been playing for me for about, 2 years now? He probably has made the most progress as a player on our team as far as just from the beginning to now, just getting better. He puts in the effort, he never complains, and he's always there supporting the team, so I appreciate you, Evan.
You're always ready.
Next is my son, Caleb. He's also one of the point guards on the team. Obviously, he's been playing for me forever. I appreciate him actually just getting into basketball because it led for the opportunity for me to become a coach, which I didn't know I liked to do. So thank you, Caleb. Yes. He'll be playing for you soon, all right? And we training after we leave here. Tristan probably deserves the sportsmanship award for this team. He's always there. He's always committed. He's a tough player. He never complains. And he plays hard all the time, so I appreciate Tristan for just being that solid piece that sometimes when we don't have our main guys going, Tristan always steps up. So I appreciate you for that, Tristan. Next, I will go Carlos. Carlos is a dog, man. He's a dog. He has his battery is always charged at 100%.
100.
Always. He's always running. He never slows down. And if I'm ever looking for a guy to get out there and just do it on both ends of the court, it's always going to be Carlos. He's never tired. So I appreciate you for that. Next is Jose, our center. Really good shot blocker. One thing he does that I don't see a lot of centers do at his age group, he's a good facilitator. He will get the ball and he'll kick it back out to the open guy, and it drives our offense. And so he's a big piece on both offense and defense, and he definitely deserves this recognition. John Ziel, I know he's gonna laugh because he always laughs. But John Ziel is another dog on the team. Sometimes when some other guys might be having a bad game, he knows he needs to step up and he does it. He fights. No matter how big the other guy's center is, he's gonna get out there and compete with him and give us some hard minutes, and I appreciate that. So you deserve this recognition too. One more kid that's not here today. I just want to give him some acknowledgement. Chris, CJ, he's a wizard with the handles. He's a pretty good three-point shooter. He's aggressive on defense and offense. I wish he could have been here, but he's not. And so I just want to make sure he get recognized also. Justin. Yeah, Justin. He actually moved. I think he's still in Puerto Rico. But he's another one of our big guys that made the difference. One of the reasons why we were successful is because we did have two big guys, bigger than all the other guys, and Justin was one of them. And he got a lot of rebounds in the crunch time, and it made the difference, and especially our close games. So Justin, definitely, he also deserves the recognition. And just you guys as a team, man. I mean, individual recognition is great, but you guys played as a team. We ran our presses, our defense as a team, and that's what made the difference. We was the best team out there, all right? Very good.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, and Councilor Click Bruce for bringing these fine young men down to us. Congratulations on behalf of the City of Springfield, and if you'll note, the water bottles that you've gotten are a donation from the City Council office and the City Clerk's office, and they remind you to vote, which one day, not too far in the future, you'll be able to, so don't forget to do that. Okay, so thank you very much, and congratulations on this honor.
So we do.
Okay, back to Councilor Click Bruce.
Yep,
but we got one more to do.
Yeah, we have one more. We're gonna do 4 and 3 elite, and then let's just do the picture where because we can do it separate. But let's just do the proclamation.
Yeah, we'll do one
now.
photo at the end, Councilor
Yeah, let's do the proclamation so that way we can.
Okay, Councilor Click Bruce.
Well, I'm gonna pass it. I'm gonna be Magic Johnson. Pass it to Councilor Walsh.
I caught it.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. President. Continuing the proclamations tonight, we're pleased to have with us 413 Elite. Could I have everybody associated with 413 Elite to please stand? Okay. This is another group that represented the City of Springfield in Bayamon, is that right? You say it. Bayamon, Puerto Rico, and we want to recognize Charles Evans for his efforts, and we have proclamations for everybody in this group. So I'll read what it says, and then we'll pass them out. Okay. City of Springfield, in recognition, the City Council is pleased to recognize and congratulate Springfield 413 Elite for proudly representing yourselves in the City of Springfield by competing in the Caribbean International Shootout Championship in Puerto Rico, going 5-0 in the Professional Open Division. This being the first time a professional team from Springfield competed internationally and went on to win a championship. Congratulations. You guys are all a credit to Springfield being the birthplace of basketball. Okay, and now we have some proclamations. Okay, is Sam here? Charles isn't here.
On behalf of Charles, from his mom.
Oh, even better.
That's even better.
Even better. Can you pass that down? Where did it go? We'll get back to you, Mom. Okay. Jerome. He's not here. Jovan. Okay.
Okay.
I hope I'm not butchering the name, but Shai Quinn? Shai Quinn here? Nope, not here. Joseph?
Joseph.
Joseph? Jerry? Nope. All right.
Is there a Jonathan in the house?
All right, John.
How about Mikey?
Instead of Lewis, it's Lewis.
Marvin? Okay. Sam's mom. Okay. Okay. I'll just give it to him. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Which one's Lewis?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And Sam's mom. There we go.
Okay, and Council, why don't you, Councilor Walsh,
Okay, and who will I give these to? The people that aren't here?
Councilor Walsh is going to present the rest of the proclamations to the team so that they can
They
be
can
brought to their
distribute them,
teammates.
yeah. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank-
Congratulations to everybody. Can we have a picture with everybody?
Yes, we'd love to. So we'd welcome everybody to come forward from is it the Trailblazers?
Yeah, of course.
Trailblazers and 413 Elite, and we will take a photo right up here with the City Council. Okay, congratulations to all the honorees. We are going to ask everybody that they take their celebrations out to the street because we're gonna start our meeting. You're welcome to stay. Okay. We're going to ask the council chambers to come to order, please. We're getting a late start because we had a lot of excitement honoring some of our young people in the city with the tremendous success of their basketball in Puerto Rico and elsewhere. But today is Monday, the 19th of August, believe it or not, and the time is 7:20, so we're getting started a little late here today. But we do have a regular meeting of the Springfield City Council scheduled to call to order. And as soon as the clerk can scramble to get her voting software ready. Are you ready, Madam Clerk? Okay, if you would please start by calling the roll.
Councillor Allen?
Present.
Present. Councillor Delgado? Away. Councillor Click Bruce?
Present.
Present. Councillor Govan?
Present.
Present. Councillor Brown? Present. Councillor Davila?
Present.
Present. Councillor Curran?
Present.
Present. Councillor Santinello?
Present.
Present. Councillor Edwards?
Present.
Present. Councillor Whitfield?
Present.
Present. Councillor Perez?
Present.
Present. Councillor Fenton?
Present. Will the clerk please recognize the counselor in seat number 3?
Councillor Delgado?
Present.
Present.
Will the council and our guests please rise for a moment of silence? Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Madam Clerk, before we get to our first item of the evening, with the council's indulgence, we have a little bit of a surprise. We have a proclamation for our long-standing city council aide, Kelly Mikowitz, who I'm going to go in the other room and grab because I don't think she knows that we're honoring her here tonight. So this is a special proclamation for us because everyone in City Hall and in the City Council chambers has come to know Kelly and the service that she's committed to the city over the course of the last, I'm not going to say over 40 years, but over 40 years. So we are really excited to offer this proclamation for you tonight, Kelly, and I know the councilors would all like to say something, but before they do, I am going to read it into the record, and then we'll hear from everybody about how sad we're going to be to lose you to retirement.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry, kids. I know you want to go home.
So today in the city of Springfield, August 19th, 2024, a proclamation sponsored by all councilors and the city clerk, whereas the city of Springfield is always proud to recognize one of its most dedicated and loved employees and servants, and whereas Kelly Mikowitz began her career working for the city of Springfield on January 21st, 1985, with a brief stint in the city clerk's office before moving to her current position in the city council office. And whereas Kelly has been a staple of the city council office since 1985 and has worked with many, many city councilors, mayoral administrations, and even a state-appointed control board. And whereas in 2010, Kelly was instrumental in the transition as the city council went from a 9-member at-large body to a 5-member at-large body with 8 ward representatives for a total of 13 members. And whereas Kelly was born and raised in the city of Springfield and is and has always been proud to call the City of Holmes her home. And whereas over the past 40 years, Kelly has attended more city council meetings and subcommittee meetings than any other person in the city's history, too many to count. And whereas Kelly's compassion and knowledge has allowed her to be a constant source of information for city councilors, department heads, constituents, and city employees. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Springfield City Council hereby recognizes, honors, and commends Kelly Mikowitz for her commitment and dedication to the City Council office and the entire city of Springfield, and thanks her for her over 40 years of service and wishes her much luck and happiness in her retirement. So starting with Councilor Walsh, we're going to allow everybody a chance to say something, and Kelly, you can come right up to the position of honor. Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. I can't imagine the City Council office without Kelly. Kelly, I want to thank you for all you've done, not only for the City Council, but for every person that called the City Council office that wanted help. You always knew where to direct them and are responsible for so many good things happening for the City Council. And I'm really going to miss you, and it's been a pleasure and honor to work with you. I consider you a great friend.
Councilor Allen.
Kelly, you always did your job with such kindness and service to all that it was always a pleasure to deal with you, no matter how sticky the situation was. And I appreciate the grace and the service you gave to everybody and how you did your job with such grace. So thank you very much.
So I was a little sad because I'm one of the newer members of the council that I only had the last 7 months to work with Kelly, but not so sad because I've had the privilege of knowing Kelly for over 10 years now when I was a mayoral aide, and I would walk around the halls and come into the city council office. Kelly and Susan always made me feel welcome. So Kelly, much deserved. Congratulations. You don't look at all over 40. So congrats to you, and anybody that can put up with 13 different individuals and personalities times 40 years. Man, you are one strong person, so thank you so much for your service to the city. We are going to be such a loss, but we know that we've got some good people that are going to continue to fill those shoes, so thank you.
Hi, Kelly. Really, kind of lost for words because we worked together. And when I came to the city council office, you embraced me with such love and kindness. Taught me a lot because you go down this road called life, and you pick up friends and you pick up family members. And I truly call you like one of my moms because you really look out for me and it's genuine. You hit me up, ask me how am I doing, or you just check on me. And again, working with you, I learned a lot about government. I learned a lot about just different policies and who to call, where to call. So again, 40 years, I think I wasn't even born yet. I don't think I was born yet. I'm 39 and a half. I wasn't even born. So again, Kelly, you're truly that's a sweet-spirited person. Great to be around. I love your spirit. I love you as a human being. Forget about everything else. As a human being, that's what it's all about for me. And again, congratulations. You deserve it all. Love you.
Kelly, I've had the privilege to work with you for the last 4 years as a city councilor. I'm sure I've called the city council office in the past and probably gotten your voice, so I can attest to the kindness that you use when you answer the phone, when you talk to our constituents. And I'm going to miss you, because in the last 4 years, you've helped me with a number of times that I've called here, not knowing anything about what was going on, and you helped me. You never made me feel like I shouldn't be asking questions, so I appreciate that. And I just wish you the best in your retirement. Hopefully, you don't do like other people that retire and keep working. Have a good one.
Thank you.
I want to have to reiterate, like my colleague, Councilor Click Bruce, you're family to me. You're my auntie, though. You're my auntie, Kelly. A lot of times people don't understand, as a city councilor, there's a lot of times I have to call you for help, but for constituents. And I don't think people understand. You're the one who do all the work. When we have issues, you do most of the emails. You contact most of the department head. You're the one who do a lot of it. And not only do you do that, a lot of times when the actual heart of politics get to me and it get dirty, you always tell me, "Hey, Malo, keep your temper," and you know, you help me keep my composure. You help me to be able to smile, and just know that there are real people out there, because believe me, you're one of the realest people that I've ever came across, and I'm going to miss you, and that's why I came today, and I do love you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Kelly, I have to say that I'm sad to see you go. 40 years, it's a lot of service to this great city. And not only as a city councilor, but also as a resident, I thank you. I thank you for your dedication. I thank you for your love and for your compassion to the city. As a councilor, I thank you, because to me, Kelly, when I think of the city council chambers, I cannot think of the city council chambers without you in it. You are truly an integral part of this body. I know for myself as a new councilor, you helped me to make sense of things. You explain how things work, how we're supposed to do things, so that our government keeps functioning properly. And so thank you so much. You deserve a lot of rest. You deserve a lot of peace, and thank you. And I'm sure we're going to be seeing you in the future. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for your service, and God bless you.
Well, first of all,
Sean. Yeah, go ahead, Councilor Kern. We'll go.
Thank you for your service to City Hall. Thank you for your dedication to the City Council, and certainly all the residents of the City of Springfield whom you've helped through the years. So thank you so much, and congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you. Councilor Santinello.
What can I say? Kelly's the best of the best. I was on the council for, 26 years, and took 23 years off and came back. And she told me when I got back, she goes, "Brian, I'm going to be retiring." And I'm going to say, what are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? You just did it all. As a matter of fact, I called you this morning and you put the call into Congressman Neal's office. Thank you so much. You are the best.
Well, first of all, Kelly, I echo all the sentiments that have been said today. The thing that's probably that I heard, which is that you are loved, and I do love you. Friendship, you have been a true friend, not only to me, but to my wife and my family. It's really nice when people reach out when we're dealing with life's trials and tribulations and know this is somebody on the other end of the phone is sincerely inquiring as to how we're doing. So I appreciate that. Bittersweet in terms of you leaving, because I don't really want to say that I'm sad to see you leave. I'm happy to see you leave because it's your choice. As you know, I retired in 2009 by choice. And when we can get to a point in our life and have a job that we love, but we can have the choice to walk away from it and on our own terms, So you welcomed me to this council 15 years ago. I welcome you into retirement now, but I also look forward to seeing you on a regular basis, and I look forward to our text, occasional lunch together, and I hope to see you come through and feel like you're coming back home every once in a while, and remember those people here who still love you. Thank you.
I've known you for a very long time too, Kelly, from when I used to work here. But I just wanted to say really quick that I think Councilor Click Bruce got his age maybe mixed up with Councilor Fenton. So we're gonna get that corrected. But Kelly, I can't imagine Kelly without Susan, Susan without Kelly. I would be like, oh, someone will call and they'll say, where should we send the information? Send it to Kelly Susan. And they're like, is the name Kelly Susan? And like, you know, so it's just like gonna be really, really different. But I'm very happy for you. Over the years, we shared very intimate conversations, health-wise, family-wise. You, LeVar, and Susan brought me my first grandparent gift, and I still use that mug almost every day, and it said grandma with all these other different names that you can say, but I am a Mima, but it has all those names on it. And you guys are really so thoughtful and caring individuals. You don't let personalities or personal stuff get in the way of doing your job and being professional and just being a good, kind, loving person and friend. So I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, wish you everything that you deserve in this retirement, and don't go back to work unless you really want to. Thank you, Kelly.
Councilor Perez.
Kelly, I just have to tell you, thank you, thank you, thank you. You keep us on our toes. You know why? When I came in for the first time and I met you, whenever I needed resources, while I was doing research and learning, you was always there for me. Amiga, which stands for in English, friend. I consider you what a true friend is. Thank you. And I tell you from the bottom of my heart, just enjoy your retirement. Thank you.
So I'm going to go last here and just say a few words. You know, Kelly has been a true friend to me and my family for the entirety of my service on the City Council, and a lot of the words that rang true here from our colleagues today really resonated with me. While we're standing up here, Kelly's whispering to me, oh, these poor young kids have to sit through this and talk to me. She's always thinking about somebody other than herself. And she really embodies the selflessness that we try to emulate in society. And personally, Kelly, you've been there for me for some of life's greatest moments, getting married, got us a special gift, and, you know, in your own way, when I was finding my way to coming out, telling me that you were there for me, and some of life's hardest moments, you know, particularly more recently for me and my family, you've just always been there, checking in, not just on me, not just on the 13 of us, but on our spouses and on our children and on our mothers and on our nieces and nephews. And that is the lasting impact that you've left, not just on this chamber, but on all 13 of us and all the people that you've touched. So from the bottom of our heart, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for your years of service. I'm going to turn it over to Kelly to say a few words. We do have a retirement party for her, councilors, so that you know that we're hosting for Kelly along with the mayor and the city. It's on Wednesday, the 28th at noon. If you haven't seen the flyers, they're pretty funny, but please join us if you can. And with that, Kelly, everybody.
Well, I don't really like to be up here, just so you know. I love that you guys are always up here, but not me. But I can't thank you all enough. I'd be standing here forever thanking you all, because I've met so many wonderful people over my life, and I'm definitely going to miss a lot of them. And this is my home away from home. But thank you.
Susan, come on up. Susan,
Yeah. Sean, you're in good.
We're going to invite Susan and Sean both to come up now.
You're in good hands.
And Tommy, we're going to take a picture with all the counselors too, right up here.
And I can't thank Gladys enough for being an amazing boss. Really, you've done for this whole city hall, not just here. So thank you, and all the counselors. I'm very lucky.
All right, everybody, come on up. We're going to do the photo right up here.
So she's staying. She just changed her mind. She's going to be staying.
Right here, we're son.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. With honoring those folks that we had to honor here tonight, we are getting an extremely late start, but it is for a very good reason. So, Madam Clerk, we've already done the pledge. We've already called the roll. Why don't we please start with item number 1, resolution from Councilor Click Bruce.
Item number 1 is SNAP Restaurant Meal Plan.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Clerk. Really want to bring this forward to the city councilors. Probably about a month ago now, we were at a meeting and Chef Kelly Dobbins brought this to our attention, that he was out in Boston and noticed that this program was out in Boston area, and why wasn't it more so here in the city of Springfield? So doing some research on this program, Governor Healy and her administration opened it up to 27 restaurants. And quite frankly, that's not enough. I think there was like 3 or 4 here in Western Mass. So we want to make sure other restaurants, especially the mom and pops, also food trucks, will have the opportunity to take part in this program, because we all know, A, it can bring economic development and prosperity to our local businesses, and B, it gives security for food for our residents here in the city of Springfield. So it gives them the opportunity to buy prepared foods. So I did draft up a resolution where we're going to look to push this up to the State House. I did have a conversation with State Representative Bud L. Williams to push it up and push it through. I would also reach out to some of the other delegates here on the state level to make sure this is done. And I also had a conversation with Milo Brown as well, Councilor Brown, to make sure this is done on the state level. So the resolution reads, whereas, before I go into that, myself and my team went out and visited some of the local restaurants that would be interested, that we thought would benefit from this program, We reached out to, obviously, Kelly Dobbins. He's on board with it. We also went to Chickadee's over by the Springfield Plaza. He's on board with this program. We went to Olympic Deli, a Hispanic restaurant. They're on board with the program. Also, AC Produce as well. So we did go around to garner some support for this program. And Chef Dobbins was here, but he had to leave due to a prior engagement. So the resolution of Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program reads, whereas the Healy Driscoll administration announced that 27 restaurants and food trucks have been selected to participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which is also known as SNAP, Restaurant Meals Program, RMP. It piloted in 2023. Eligible businesses in this pilot phase of the program include restaurants and food trucks that are local and privately owned and provide counter-based service and payment. Of the selected local businesses, 77% are women-owned and 90% have owners who identify as Black, Asian, and/or Hispanic, and/or Latinx. The average meal price is $11, so there's a cap limit. And if we agree to this, there could be some amendments we would like to make as well. If there's a family, because I know some of the councilmen have questions, if there's a family of 4 per se, can we make it a cap of $30? Just using that as an example. But this is what the administration put into place. So whereas the city of Springfield must be proactive and work with state and government officials in finding ways to spur long-term economic growth for Massachusetts families and the economy. And whereas under federal rules, the RMP allows individuals with disabilities, households with older adults aged 60 and up, and individuals experiencing homelessness to use their SNAP benefits at select participating restaurants and food trucks that offer reduced price meal options. This program will expand to food choice options and food access points for populations that may encounter barriers and challenges with purchasing and storing groceries, as well as cooking and preparing meals for themselves. And whereas, in addition to promoting food security, SNAP also plays an important role in supporting our local economy and communities. And whereas the Healy Driscoll administration is taking the lead in introducing these programs to help our community and businesses. And be it further resolved that the Springfield City Council supports this Healy Driscoll administration. We strongly urge the administration to reopen up the process so that more restaurants in the city of Springfield can benefit from this program. So this is the resolution that I have on hand that I'd like to push out to the State House so that way this process or this application process can be opened up to more restaurants so that way the city of Springfield can benefit from this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Councilor Brown, followed by Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I want to commend my colleague, Councilor LeVar Click Bruce. I think a lot of people don't understand the actual issue when it comes to elderly and single-parent homes. Being able to have an option to obtain different nutritional options. There are some elderly people who aren't able to obtain, or they just, this is another option for them to open up doors. And then there's single parents, just like earlier today. A lot of times our society is struck by single parent and just people who are just unable to have the time to provide the meals. Even myself, it's hard. And we don't want people to be able to suffer because of it. We want to have people be able to have the another option. So I want to commend my colleague for once again really being considerate as far as a demographic and an issue that people really sometimes overlook when it comes to this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, Mr. President, ask the Madam Clerk to please add me as a co-sponsor to this resolution. If I may, Councilor Lavarde, my compliments, sir, for putting this forward. This is a great resolution. And as I'm reading this, I think of not only the elderly, but the single woman that we have in the city here, women who struggle hard. I think of the food deserts that we have here in the city. This is just not a program to give people a free meal on tax money. I see this, Mr. President, as food justice. So everybody can have a proper, nutritional, hot meal. I am very enthusiastic about this program. I openly urge our beloved governor to open this program up quickly to more people in the city. The more we open this up, the better access people are going to have to nutritional hot meals, and it's going to be an economic development piece of legislation, because money is going to continue to flow to the small businesses, to the food trucks, to the mom and pop's restaurant. I am enthusiastic about this, and those are my words, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it was me and you at the meeting with Kelly Dobbins when this was brought up. And I was doing some research on it as well. But from my understanding, this program is for individuals 60 plus, folks with disabilities, and some other criteria. Is that accurate? So it's not just like for anybody who can walk into a restaurant and use food stamps?
My understanding was for folks who had SNAP benefits.
It doesn't matter about those other requirements?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm reading it. That's not quite what it says, but I'm just asking about the eligibility, and I would like to support it, but I'm just wondering, how has it been doing? Like, are people using it? Do you have any data behind that?
So we have a low turnout here in the city of Springfield, so I don't have any data. I did reach out to the administration, definitely looking to get some data, but at this present time, no, I don't have any data. But that's why we're trying to open it up to get more businesses here in the city of Springfield specifically, so that way they have at least have the opportunity to experience it, and our residents will be able to frequent their establishment with this program.
Yeah, it says SNAP Restaurant Meals Program allows older adults, 60 plus, homeless individuals, and people with disabilities to buy food at authorized restaurants and trucks, which is still great. But it would be beneficial to open it up to just any individuals that currently get SNAP benefits, and I don't know if that was written into the resolution at all.
We can definitely make any amendments. I urge any counselor that have any amendments that they want to bring forth. We can definitely do that. It's a team effort for sure. So definitely, yes.
Okay. I don't know when is the right time, Mr. President, to make an amendment.
You could make a motion now, yeah.
Okay. Let me just look at the wording.
And just as a point of information, the program launched last fall, so it's less than a year.
Yeah.
And the only two restaurants, there's only one restaurant in Springfield, which is the Cedars Food Mart on Liberty Street. And there's one food truck, Mexi Rico, which I believe is the one on, is that on Belmont or Dickinson, Councilor Davila? Yeah, just those two.
Well, I think it has it in here in our resolution. Well, it says, I guess whereas under federal rules, the RMP allows individuals with disability, households with older adults age 60 and up, and individuals experience homelessness. I guess somewhere in there we would put, and all families with SNAP benefits. I guess takeout and food trucks. I'm sorry. SNAP benefits at participating restaurants.
Councilor Whitfield, we can make the changes. I think the reference to the restaurant meals program is a federal program that defines those categories. So I think that's why the state used it that way, but we can certainly entertain any amendment you like.
What would you like to say, Councilor Davila?
Councilor Davila?
If I may just, thank you. If I may, make a further suggestion, perhaps we can create a whole different resolution to the specific points, so just that we might be lost in translation here.
Oh, you gotta, sorry, Councilor Davila.
My
you gotta put your
apologies.
mic-
If I make a friendly suggestion, that is that perhaps we should entertain the idea of creating a whole different resolution with those specific points that Councilor Whitfield is bringing, so that it doesn't get lost in translation within this resolution. Just a thought. Thank you.
I don't know how it would get lost because it's like 3 words. So
Well,
I just want to add,
like I said, it was
one
a friendly
moment.
suggestion.
I listen to you. I don't agree. So individuals with disabilities, household with older adults age 60 and up, individuals experience homelessness, and right there, Gladys, all families that use SNAP benefits.
Okay, so Councilor Whitfield's motion is to insert "and all families that use SNAP benefits" after the word homelessness on the second line of the third whereas. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Okay. Any other, is that the entirety of the motion, Councilor Whitfield?
I'm trying to read it at the same time.
You got to put your microphone on, please.
Sorry, all families that are allotted SNAP benefits to use their SNAP benefits at selected. I'm just trying to make it make sense, the sentence.
I think the sentence makes sense if you leave it as "and all families that use SNAP benefits to use their SNAP benefits." That's, I think that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. So the motion's been made by Councilor Whitfield, seconded by Councilor Walsh. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll on the motion?
On the motion, Councilor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Councilor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton?
Yes. More than sufficient. Motion passes. Any other discussion on the resolution? Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think this is a really great idea. I like Councilor Whitfield. I would like to get some data on how it's being used. And I would also like to get, I think, the governor's bill and what that reads exactly. I don't know if we can, make an amendment like that if it's a federal policy for whatever reason. I know that currently SNAP recipients are eligible to receive free farmers market dollars, and those aren't used as much as I think they could be. And I'm not sure if it's because of advertising or if people can't get to a farmer's market. I don't know. So, you know, this is a good idea to expand, I think, people's ability to access food. And I agree expanding it to different restaurants. I think eventually the governor's idea is to maybe make all restaurants eligible for this, which would be great, except for like McDonald's and stuff like that, I guess. But, you know, we do want to give people more access to food. So I guess I would just have more questions. This is just first step, correct?
This is just a resolution asking them to increase the Springfield participants in the pilot.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would like to make sure that we can do it. You know, we could have a resolution and then it'll just sit there and we're not able to do it because of some federal policies or anything. So I think it's a great idea, but those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none, let me check the Zoom. Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the resolution.
On the motion to approve the resolution, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Kern. Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Resolution passes as amended. Item number 2, Madam Clerk.
Item number 2 is collective bargaining agreement ratification for UFCW Local 1459.
Good evening, Mr. Mahoney.
Good evening, Councilors. Bill Mahoney, Director of HR and Labor Relations. I'm pleased to report that we have a contract with the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 1459. The contract's been ratified by the union. There's about 100 employees in this bargaining unit. They include the CDL drivers, our gardeners, our laborers, our solid waste employees, and mechanics, and other positions related to those. Negotiations began on February 6th. We had about 10 bargaining sessions, and there are 2 contracts. The first contract is for 1 year, covering the period of July 1, 24 to June 30th of 25. And the second contract covers the period of July 1, 25 to June 30th of 28. In the first year, we increased the wages by $1 an hour in each classification, except for those in the mechanics series. We increased those by $3 an hour. In the second, third, and fourth years of the contract, we did percentages of 2%, 2%, and 2%. And we did a one-time $1,500 signing bonus. We've increased the shift differentials a little bit. We did an increase in the CDL and the hoisting licenses so that we can continue to retain our CDL drivers. We modified the cancer screening benefit, which comes from an ordinance passed by the council, so that it works better for the solid waste employees who work a 4-day work week. We tightened up some sick leave language, and we have removed some old contracting out language.
Thank you, Attorney Mahoney. Any comments or questions from the council? Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. So how much retro pay are we looking at?
Very little, because the contract starts on July 1 of 24, so we're looking at a month and 20 days.
So all 100 employees are going to get $1,500?
Yes.
Okay, so it's not just for new employees that sign on?
No. It's a retention signing bonus.
Retention, and then will that sign-in bonus be going forward also?
It's one time. It's a one-time payment.
It's one time?
One time.
Like a bonus, okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Any other councilors? Councilor Allen.
Thanks, Mr. President. Hey, Bill, can you give us the overall budget impact on this? You know?
I don't have the overall budget impact. I know there was a report from the CAFO's office indicating that she's reviewed the finances of this. We work closely with her office during the negotiations, and she's comfortable with the contract.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Any other councilors? Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill, good to see you. What employees exactly are covered for this? What role do they play with the city?
Sure. These are the employees that work in our solid waste division at DPW.
Okay.
These are all of our mechanics. These are all of our laborers, our gardeners. The employees are covered not only in DPW, but they also work in the Parks Department. And we have a couple mechanics that work in the Police Department. And they're all in that one bargaining unit.
Okay, so basically we're looking at 2% increase retroactive going back to 2024, $3 extra for repairmen. Is that correct?
It's $1 an hour for everybody except for the repairmen who are $3 an hour.
Yeah.
It's very competitive right now for mechanics.
Would you say that these salaries where does that put us in comparison to other municipalities?
We're right in the mix with these numbers. Our mechanic numbers will be good, and that's very important to us. We also have some. We've done an added payment for those that hold a CDL, and that's going to help us out quite a bit with the wintertime.
Right. So those with CDL, repairmen, gardeners, are we paying them above what other municipalities are paying? Are we competitive?
Yeah, we're competitive.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Bill.
Any, any other councilors? Councilor Whip. Oh, were you trying to raise your hand, Councilor Delgado? Councilor Delgado.
There we go. Now we're green. Can we add like another line or two to that issue?
I'm going to try to work on that. Yeah. Yes.
I just had a question on the signing bonus. So this is a retention bonus and a new sign-on bonus, you said?
It's retention in the sense that we actually had an employee that was going to be leaving us, and he changed his mind. He's staying with us now, which is great for us. It was a difficult position to fill, but it's a one-time signing bonus.
So to get that bonus, is there any stipulations after that? Like, can somebody get the bonus and then quit next week?
Yep, they could, sure. But I don't think that's going to be something that is going to happen.
Okay. I mean, because I know that, we're having challenging times around getting folks specifically in the trades and specific skills like that. So I think it's needed. I was just kind of curious how many folks are receiving that, and then what are the kind of like the stipulations to receiving that and staying on?
Yeah, I think I think it'll go a long way for us to keeping our employees, particularly the drivers, CDL drivers. It's more and more of a competitive market out there right now for a number of reasons. But between the $1 an hour in the base plus the increase in the CDL stipend that we're adding, plus the retention bonus, it should make us pretty competitive.
Make it pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, it's good to know, because I mean, they're definitely key folks, that work for the city. I mean, they do a lot of work that a lot of us probably wouldn't do. So, so definitely need to keep them happy. But I just was curious about that retention bonus piece. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Councilor Brown, and we'll get to Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Does this affect any of the division of the inspections at all?
No.
Okay. And the reason why I ask is a lot of times, and we'll visit it later, I'd like to have a breakdown of how some of these raises hit different departments, because there's certain departments and department heads who are leaving and they're not getting the raises that they should be getting. And there's certain departments where they should be getting raises. And it's hard because, I mean, we're not retaining our employees. So I always know you guys have a hard job, a really, really hard job. And I think this is probably one of the biggest things that plague us, being able to retain our employees and not having them go anywhere else. So, I mean, I do commend you on your work, and I hope as a city we can even work closely together to try to figure out this and stop having employees have to leave. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Any other councilors? Councilor Whitfield?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm just reading more of the details, and thank you for the boot allowance increase, because we know costs have went up. And for the licenses, per license, the employee gets 50 cents more per hour?
So the CDLs, we went from 25 cents an hour right to $1 an hour. For the hoisting licenses, we were stepping that up on a yearly basis where we max out at $1 an hour.
Okay, what about like, on hoisting, I see that, hazmat certification, so is it each license you get an increase?
I don't recall the hazmat. I can look at it. We may have done that. Are you looking at the AFSCME or the UFCW contract?
Hold on, I might have went ahead.
Because we did do some license stipends on, for the other group
Oh,
as well.
yeah, that's the other one.
Okay.
Mhm.
We will get to that in a minute or two.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Well, you know what's coming. Just answer.
Is that all? Okay, any other counselors? Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll on the approval of this collective bargaining agreement.
On approval of the agreement, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Collective bargaining agreement is approved. Item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Item number 3 is collective bargaining agreement ratification for the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Local 3065.
Mr. Mahoney.
Counselors, again, this is the Foreman's Union. They also work in both the DPW and in the Parks Department. There's about 38 members in the bargaining unit. They include your streets and engineering foreman, your solid waste foreman, your garage foreman, your recreation supervisors, your recreation district supervisors, again, about 38 employees. Two contracts, same durations as the other ones, 7/1/24 to June 30th of 25, and 7/1/25 to June 30th of 28. Year one, there's a $1 an hour increase across the board for all classifications. And then in years 2, 3, and 4, it's 2%, 2%, and 2%. There's a one-time signing bonus of $1,500. We did increase certain stipends for holding certifications or licenses, and I'll jump ahead on that question. Yes, you could get more than one certification stipend. We added Juneteenth as a holiday. We added the military leave benefit that was negotiated, or that was passed by the council, and we added 4 hours of cancer screening to the contract.
Thank you, Mr. Mahoney. Any comments or questions from the council? Okay, Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill, I was going to ask the same question to ask the apologies, I was off. Bill, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked you with the other vote. Where does that put us in comparison with other municipalities for their wages?
Oh, I think with the foreman, we're in pretty good shape. I was probably more concerned with the UFCW because of the CDLs and the mechanics, but I think we're in pretty good shape with the foreman. A lot of the employees from the UFCW will promote into this bargaining unit, and these are considered, great opportunities.
So in comparison to other cities and towns, we are pretty competitive, correct?
I think we're pretty competitive.
Thank you, Bill.
Pretty competitive.
Thank you,
Yes.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Any other councilors? Councilor Walsh.
Okay, here we go. I'm very happy to support this. I'm happy to hear about the new benefits. Hopefully it will retain employees.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Any other councilors? Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bill, I guess my question was sort of what Councilor Delgado said about the sign-on bonuses. A lot of times when companies have sign-on bonuses, they have you have to stay for at least 2 years or 3 years. So I'm just a little concerned that they could just get the bonus and then leave the next week. That's not, a good thought, I guess. And I don't know if that will happen. I hope it doesn't. I know that you've been very, very receptive. I actually reached out to Bill about another issue that we talked about, and he sent me some information, which was great. So I'm glad that you're doing this work, because I know it's tough work. I know retaining employees, especially in the city. And I was glad, I think you sent us the report about the wages across the other cities, and we're pretty at the, kind of like at a good rate compared to other cities. So, you know, getting people to work for the city, that live in the city, is what I hope our goal is, and just finding ways to do that. So that was just my concern about that sign-on bonus, which is also in this one and the other one. I'm not sure if there's anything that can be done where you guys could put a stipulation in.
At this point, there's nothing we can do.
okay.
They've already ratified on their end, and now it's my obligation to bring to you for ratification.
Okay.
It could happen. You know, we have a lot of older employees that are my age or older, and they may be waiting for something like that.
Will they get the bonus, though?
If they're working for us, yeah. If they're on payroll, yes.
So they're getting a sign-on bononus,
Everyone in the bargaining unit gets a sign-on bonus, so the 38 of them or so.
even if they're like 65, getting ready to retire next week? Only joking. All right, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Any other councilors? Councilor Whitfield.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. So this particular contract bill is from 2021 to 2024?
No. This contract goes from 7/1/24 to 6/30/25 and 7/1/25 to 6/30/28.
Why does it say that at the top? Successor agreement was 2021 to 2024.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Great,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none. Let me just check the Zoom. Okay. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll on the ratification of the collective bargaining agreement.
On approval of the bargaining agreement, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Collective bargaining agreement is approved. Okay. Madam Clerk, item number 4, please.
Item number 4 is for a special permit for motor vehicle sales and leasing at the properties known as 365 Cadwell Drive and Northside Cadwell Drive.
Okay, good evening, sir. This is a special permit hearing of the Springfield City Council to be conducted consistent with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 40A, and the rules and orders of the Springfield City Council. Pursuant to those rules, the petitioner will be offered up to 20 minutes to make your presentation. You do not need to use all that time. If there are any opponents, they'll be given an opportunity to respond with equal measure. With that said, sir, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself, stating your name and address for the record, and we will begin the hearing. Councilors, Mr. Dromey is printing out the Planning Department's analysis for this special permit application and for the others, which are normally incorporated. I think it was missed somehow in the printing of the packets and online. So he just got me one here, but the rest of you will have them shortly as soon as he can get the printer going. So, sir, please introduce yourself. You have the floor.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. President. For the record, Mr. President, members of the City Council, my name is Ricardo Souza from Prince Lobel Thai, One International Place, Boston, Massachusetts, here on behalf of the petitioner. And the petitioner, I'm also joined with me tonight is Gray Hanna, who's the Chief Development Officer for 6S Development. They are the petitioner. And the purpose of this application is a special permit for the addition of sales and leasing as a use on the proposed service facility that will be constructed at the subject property, 365 Cadwell Drive. Back in November of 2023, the proposed facility was approved for purposes of service under the zoning ordinance for just service. However, since then, we have remodeled the proposed use and are requesting that the use be modified to add sales and leasing to this facility. There are several unique benefits that come from essentially redeveloping this property. For many years, this property has been vacant. It is not in good repair. And so what the petitioner is proposing is a state-of-the-art service and sales facility to be operated by Tesla Motors, Massachusetts. And in order to service electric vehicles at this facility, and if this special permit that's being requested tonight is approved, also for the addition of sales as well on this property. And so as you can imagine, there are these unique benefits to the proposal, the first of which is to take a parcel of land that's underutilized and add and remodel with a state-of-the-art service and sales facility that is consistent with the plans that were filed with the planning office and that were approved back in November 2023. Above and beyond that, as you can imagine, we would be adding value to the property and to the neighborhood, and there would be the possibility of adding up to approximately 30 jobs for the area, but more specifically to the city of Springfield, and the residents would have the opportunity to apply for these jobs. As you know, in addition to that, the facility has been designed in a way where the aesthetics of the property itself will be substantially improved. If you go there now, we are currently under demolition, but the building itself was probably not the best aesthetic example, and the new state-of-the-art facility will be a huge improvement to the property itself and to the neighborhood. As part of this application, on August 6th, we met with the East Springfield Neighborhood Council and proposed the actual sales and leasing aspect of the property, but we also talked about the service aspects of the property project as well. We feel that we've addressed certain concerns that they had. As you may know, the property is abutted on two sides by residences, and so we want to be cognizant of not having a negative impact on those neighborhoods. It's a fairly large property, and it's buffered by not only a side yard setback, which we will continue to maintain, but a fence and some fairly mature trees. And so we don't think there will be impact. One of the concerns was articulated by the neighbors was lighting. And so we went back and we tweaked the lighting plan so that it wouldn't, in fact, interfere beyond the property line of our property. In addition to that, we have slightly modified the use of some of the demolition material or machines that are being utilized today as well. The hours of operation for the service facility will be 10 to 6, Monday through Sunday, every day of the week. And that's for sales and leasing. So that was an issue that was brought up. In addition to that, there will be some EV charging stations on the property, and the neighbors wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to attract third parties from everywhere to use the EV charging stations, and in fact, that's not the case. The EV charging stations are for the use of the customers and for the facility itself. And so they will be dedicated to the actual project itself. And as you may know, the property itself is zoned Industrial A. The proposed structure itself will be constructed on the footprint of the existing building. It's about a 36,750 square foot new facility that will be built. And as far as parking goes, there were a substantial number of parking spaces. Under the zoning ordinance, we would need 78 parking spaces. However, there are approximately 360 parking spaces. So there's more than adequate parking on the facility itself or on the project. And so with that, I would respectfully request that the City Council grant a special permit that's being requested for the addition of sales and leasing to the project. And I'm amenable to answering any questions that you may have together with Mr. Hanna.
Thank you, Mr. Sousa. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this petition tonight? Say again, is there anyone wishing to speak in favor? Good evening, Ms. Brown.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Appreciate the opportunity to be in front of you tonight. I'm Kathleen Brown with the East Springfield Neighborhood Council. I'm president and spokesperson. As has been indicated, we did have a meeting with the petitioner and went through a variety of topics, including the special permit conditions that you don't have in front of you yet from the planning department, or do you?
Phil, Mr. Dromey has printed a copy for me. We're having a little bit of difficulty printing them for everyone else right now, but you should have them in your email inbox from earlier this week if you're looking for them.
Okay. So the East Springfield Neighborhood Council had some lively conversation, and we really appreciate the attention to detail that was given to us and to this project. And the Neighborhood Council is in full support of this, as are the neighbors who did come to the meeting, as long as the special permit conditions that the planning department recommended are included, and the additional 5 conditions that I know I sent to the council president and to the city clerk and to vice president and to Councilor Govan. And most of those were addressed by the presentation. So we are in support. We're happy to have, as you know, East Springfield is very business and industrial by land use, and we're always supportive of quality projects that are going to benefit the residents and the city of Springfield. So thank you very much. We would hope that you could vote in affirmative tonight.
Thank you. One more thing, Ms. Brown. I just want everyone to know that tonight is Ms. Brown's anniversary, so we'd like to say happy anniversary to her and Sandy.
Thank you.
She's such a dedicated neighborhood advocate that she's here tonight instead of being home with Sandy. Thank you and happy anniversary.
Thank you very much, Councilor.
Okay, how many years?
How many years? 47.
47
Oh, wow.
years. Congratulations, Kathy and Sandy. Okay, anyone else wishing to speak in favor of the application? Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Say again, is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition on the Zoom or in person? Going once, going twice. That'll close the hearing. Well, are there any questions from the council before I close the hearing? Councilor Allen. Yes, but could we first direct any questions that we have for the applicant or for the audience, and then we can go to Mr. Dromey, if that's all right with you, Councilor Allen? Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Councilor Brown?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm definitely for the project. I used to be a car salesman when I was a kid.
There you go.
I'm curious about the actual the owners and their hiring practice. You said they're going to hire Springfield employees and things.
So we're going to make jobs available to everybody in the area, but clearly there's an emphasis on trying to encourage Springfield residents to apply for those jobs. I think we understand how important that is.
Well, and why I ask is that I know people who have came out of the prison and recovering, and they've went into the sales game, and they've been very successful. Do you guys hire felons? Is that something that you will be practicing? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I don't know the answer to that question. I apologize. So as I mentioned, Success Development will actually construct the building pursuant to Tesla standards, but Tesla will be leasing the facility, and the Tesla name will be on the facility, and so they're going to be the operator.
Okay.
And I apologize, but I don't know what the policy is relative to hiring felons. I'm not sure.
No, and I respect that. I'm definitely excited, and I know the neighborhood council over there, they definitely vet and do a great job. So I'm definitely excited, and thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Attorney Sosa, thank you for your presentation. Some quick questions for you. I think you said that's going to create 30 jobs, correct?
I apologize. Could you repeat the question?
I believe you said this is going to create about 30 jobs here in the city?
Yes, that's our estimate, approximately 30 jobs for both sales and service and all the other aspects of operating this facility.
Right. Now, how many cars in the lot do you expect to have?
So the nature of buying a Tesla is that it's usually done online.
Yeah.
There will be 2 cars displayed inside the facility, essentially in a glass aspect of the front of the building itself. So 2 vehicles there. And then on any given day, there will be between 11 and 58 vehicles on the property that are ordered by customers. And they're typically not there for a very long time. Once they're ordered, the customer will get a notification that they're on the property and can be picked up, and there's some paperwork that's signed. It's pretty quick.
Right. Now, Mr. Sousa, I don't claim to be an expert on this subject, but you talked about charging stations.
Yes.
Now, my understanding is that with a Tesla, you plug it in and that works. You power it with electricity, correct?
Yes.
So how many charging stations are you going to have on site?
So I believe we have 6 charging stations. 6 charging stations that are adjacent to the actual facility itself, as shown on the plans. These are Tier 1 charging stations, simply to charge these vehicles themselves. As you know, the Tier 1, Tier 3 charges a lot faster. But these are not for customers that are coming up and down 91, going to Vermont.
Right.
These are really to service the facility itself.
Now, just out of curiosity, how many miles per charge, I guess, you could get?
How many miles does it get per charging station?
Yeah.
So it's my understanding, and this is just because I have a brother-in-law who owns a Tesla, it's approximately 300 miles of range for a fully charged Tesla.
Got you. Now, Mr. Sousa, talking about power,
Yep.
are you going to have enough power within that site, or are you going to be requiring either some sort of conduits to go into the site, or are you planning to have solar panels added onto the site?
So there are utilities at the site itself. I may ask Mr. Hanna to come up and just try to be more specific about that.
Sure.
I'm not aware of any solar aspects of this facility.
So I believe we're solar ready, but we don't actually have solar panels planned quite yet.
All right, so as we speak today, you have enough power to begin operations?
We do, yes.
Because if we need more conduits, we have to think about how that's going to be done and so forth and so on. It's a busy street. It's quite appropriate for your endeavor, but it's busy and we need to think ahead how we're going to do that. That's why I bring it up. So the answer is you have enough juice right now to open operations. Now, Mr. Sosa, thank you for that. Just thinking ahead, because I think this is very exciting news for the city.
Right.
But I'm thinking how we as a city play a role in this, Mr. Sousa. As you were talking, I can't think of any charging stations that we have in the city. Do you? Do you know anywhere we have a charging station in the city?
Do I know how many charging stations you have?
Yeah.
I don't know the number.
Mr. Chair?
Councilor Devlin? Councilor Brown?
Right there on the drive where they made Henry Twigg Street, right behind there. Right there.
Okay.
A charging station back there.
Now, do you pay for it, or is you just plug it in and? Okay, I'm just curious.
You pay for it.
Yep.
You pay for the charge, for the juice?
It's actually, it's all hooked up to your car, so when you go plug it in, it automatically charges your credit card.
So it's just like getting gas, you're just getting electricity, and you're paying for electricity, right? Is that correct? Yeah? Okay.
I believe so, but not at this place, right? This is only for the vehicles that you're selling.
Not at this place. This is
right,
not,
no, I understand that. No, I'm trying to think of a kind of a bigger picture, because I'm thinking, I believe I can't remember where, somewhere I saw, might have been outside of the country, that city have a charging station, like, available. And I don't know particularly how it works. Through the chair, Mr.
Councilor Whitfield?
I know people go there and charge. Wayfinders has some charging stations over there. So it's a bunch of charging stations throughout the city, like hospitals have some, so. But I know MGM is free. Yeah.
Yeah, and very often.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Okay, forget it, my apologies. So always I don't go with Tesla, but I wonder, thinking of a bigger picture, how we as a city can support not only this endeavor, but how we can support this more clean energy for our city, for our state, and our country. So, Mr. Sousa, thank you for your presentation. I'm very excited about this program, about this endeavor, and I will be happy to vote for this. Thank you, Mr. Sousa. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Delgado.
All right, green light. Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you for the presentation. This is exciting news, as has been mentioned, and I'm also excited because I know how long this property has sat vacant. This is the former American Career Institute, which was a for-profit education system that actually got shut down for taking advantage of folks, and there are a lot of folks that got student loans. So the fact that we're able to revamp that section from checkered history to something as cool as Tesla, I think is a great thing. And not only that, but from my understanding, I think the closest Tesla sales place is probably over an hour away. It
probably is. I know there are some in the suburbs of Boston. Maybe Waltham is the closest.
So that
I'm aware of.
As this is, as we're kind of moving to the future in terms of electrification and vehicles getting electrified, and I know many folks that have Teslas, but one of the biggest downside is that you have to literally go out almost 2 hours. So hopefully, one, having Tesla in Springfield will encourage more folks to look at the option of electrification, as well as because we, are one of the, unfortunately, a leader in asthma rates here. And so thinking about how we continue to move forward and having a name like Tesla there, I think is a pretty cool. So I do look forward to seeing this, and I'm hoping at some point they look at solar panels or something like that to kind of keep with the theme, so that we can continue to, get that here. So this is exciting, and I'm definitely looking forward to supporting this.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Any other councilors? Councilor Whitfield.
It worked. Thank you, Mr. President. So I'm very excited about Tesla coming. I'm buying a Tesla at some point.
I hope someday I can as well.
When I can afford it. And I hope I can buy it from a Springfield dealership. But I do want to ask specific questions because Tesla is a high-end vehicle as far as I'm concerned, but the benefits really, to me, outweighs the cost.
Sure.
But what type of community benefits outside of employment do you think you'll be giving to the neighborhood? Is there a core community responsibility area that you have in your company, or that's not something you know?
I think I'm not sure of any specific benefits other than the fact that jobs clearly being maybe number one. That's very important. Above and beyond that, just the aesthetic improvement, making that neighborhood look nicer, just from an aesthetic perspective, and maintaining the property. So currently, the property is really not being maintained now. It will be maintained in a high-class manner. And then whether or not it will be an active corporate citizen like any other corporate citizen, and it will have the ability to perhaps sponsor some of the community activities that any other vibrant business does, in a city like Springfield. So, but I don't have any specifics, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Counselor.
I like your answer.
Thank
you. You want to be a responsible corporate partner. We'll take that.
We do, very much so.
But I have some specifics for you.
Okay.
I was on the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission to figure out what our region is going to be. Okay. And I said, we need to be the clean energy, climate-friendly region of the state. Yep. And so we need to make sure that all climate resiliency starts right here in Western Massachusetts. And I think that you would be a good partner to sit on any type of advisory boards or something that we could come up with just to get idea generation going and making sure that we get our fair share. There's a lot of funding coming from the Department of Energy, which I go to their conferences every year also. Okay. And there's a lot of funding coming from the state that we need to start advocating for and lobbying for right now. Right. And so we definitely want you to be a partner in our efforts because there's just a lot of resources out there for Western Mass, and we want to make sure Springfield is ahead of the game with it. So I would like to have some offline conversations with the owner, if you could let the owner know that. Oh, you're the owner?
He is, yeah.
Okay, you've been sitting over there, okay. So owner, and I'm just really excited because I've been looking at Tesla, so I'll have like experience right in my backyard to go talk to. And then the final thing that I wanted to say is there's a lot of new startup organizations for EV charging stations. I'm on a committee with Holyoke Community College that's going to be creating training. If you all can get involved in that training curriculum to start up EV charging stations, it's through a Mass CEC grant. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but you should look it up. And it'll be good because we are looking for our installers of EV charging stations to come right from our backyard. We don't need to
That's
go.
great.
I think you guys are from Pittsfield, and I'm happy about that. We'll take some of y'all, but we want the majority of the folks in charge installing our charging stations to come right here from Springfield. So
Makes a lot of sense.
I'm very excited about this, very excited to be a partner, and I will be supporting this.
Great. Thank you, Counselor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Any other councilors? Okay.
I have a question.
Councilor Santinella.
Yeah, it's been on the news recently that Tesla is experimenting with Optimus A1 robots. Will you be using robots at this location?
Do you know?
I don't think they've gotten far enough along in that to say one way or the other, to be honest with you.
But that could be possible, right? They're working on that, aren't they?
They are working on a robot, but that's about as much detail as I have.
Okay, so you can't say when they're gonna implement this. It could be right around the corner, or it could be a year from now, whatever. But they are working on it, correct?
Yes, they are working on a robot.
Yeah, much like many other Massachusetts companies, you know, iRobot is based in Massachusetts. There are a lot of companies that are working on robot technology, but it's hard to say whether or not they will or will not be used at this facility.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Santinello. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none, that closes the hearing. Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I did get the conditions from Kathy. Thank you so much, Kathy, and from Council President Fenton. So we would like to add these 5 conditions, and I know you're aware of them.
I am, Councilor.
The lights and lighting from this site will be designed, installed, and maintained consistent with the lighting plan prepared by the petitioner and dated 8/13/24, and such lights will not cause detrimental impacts with the surrounding residential properties. 2, the special permit will be issued to the petitioner and to Tesla Motors Mass Incorporated. 3, the hours of operation for the sales operation shall be 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday. 4, the petitioner shall operate the business in order to minimize any excessive noise from this site in order to minimize any impacts on the quality of life of the abutting residences. This includes music or other noise from the parking lot. And 5, the on-site charging station shall be for the use of the business and its customers only and not made available to the general public.
Have any comments on those, sir?
I don't. Those are consistent with the conditions that I reviewed as well.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Second made by Councilor Edwards. Any discussion on the conditions? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the amendment to the conditions of the special permit.
On amendment to the special conditions to the permit, Councilor Walsh.
Yes, for the conditions, but I just want to know, those 30 employees, are any of them going to be robots?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor.
Yes, Councilor Walsh. Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes. Yes, more than sufficient. The conditions are amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of the special permit. Oh.
Can we get Mr. Dromey in here?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, Counselor Allen. I forgot about your question for Mr. Dromey. Counselor Allen, Mr. Dromey.
You got the reasons, Tim?
I don't have them. So Phil, just wondering, what kind of, were there other issues that you needed to think of with it being a Tesla dealership and with charging stations and things like that? Does that present anything that isn't in our zoning ordinance or any new issues of any kind?
No, not that I'm aware. I mean, it originally started as a strictly a repair operation, and then they came in the past couple months for the dealership. So the repair operation was previously approved because they were an industrial aid. It only needed an administrative site plan review. So, but other than that, I don't believe there's any issues.
Okay. Do you know what our inventory of charging stations is? Do you know where else in Springfield?
I know there's some on Tapley Street, right in front of our building.
Right. But those aren't available for the public, are they? Or?
Well, I mean, they certainly are for the employees that I've seen cars getting charged there. So I know there's a couple of guys who drive I think one of them has a Tesla who drives one. So, but I've seen them around, but the actual, I'm not involved in the installation of these. I think these just go directly to the building department for permits and DPWs, so they don't come across.
So you do get a permit from?
I believe there certainly would need electrical permits and if you're dependent on where they're being located, they may require DPW permits, but most of them I've seen are on private property, either at gas stations or other.
So is there a process?
I think there's some down at the Hall of Fame as well. I believe there's a couple down there. So, but where the inventory is, I couldn't tell you.
So is there how would it get to them for approval? Like I'm thinking of the solar thing we've been talking about, where some things there's no permitting required.
Well, no, there's permitting, so you still need to go to the building department to get your permit to dig, to dig electrical trenches, so you still need permits. It doesn't, when I say it doesn't need permits, it doesn't need permits through the planning department. So there's a number of projects that trigger a review by the planning department, either special permits or zone changes or different administrative site plan reviews where other uses are by right. Solar happens to be a by right use.
Right, yeah.
You still need permits, so you would still need to go to the building department, whether it's on your house or whether it's a solar field. You still need to trigger permit reviews.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of the permit.
On approval of the special permit, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Kern.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello. Counselor Santinello. Away, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Permit is approved. Councilor Allen on the reasons.
Sorry about that. Slight delay. The reasons for a granted permit, special permit, are as follows. There's 4 reasons. One, the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. Number 2, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Number 3, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. And number 4, to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of the findings.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, roll call, please, on the reasons.
On approval of the reasons, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello. Away, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Permit is approved. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Congratulations. Okay, thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk, item number 5, please.
Item number 5 is for a special permit for an accessory wall sign above the first floor of the property known as 35 Haywood Street.
Okay, good evening. Mr. Brown. Counselor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to, for the record, let the body abstain from this particular matter based on the current capacity of the person petitioning the city body on the petitioner's behalf. I know he's a handsomer version of me, but I have to abstain from this one based on his particular capacity at this particular time. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Counselor Brown. So noted for the record. Mr. Brown, you have the record. You have the floor.
Good evening, members of the City Council. I'm here as a representative of the Petitioner Behavioral Health Network. I serve as the Director of Facilities at that property, that organization, excuse me. We are petitioning to erect a sign roughly 2 by 3 feet that is going to be illuminated. We are looking to put it above the first floor. As you all may know, or some of you may not know, we have recently been designated as a CBHC, which means we are a community-based health clinic, and we offer 24 hours care on demand. So we do have people visit our campus at this time of night or even later. So we've taken on a project to improve our wayfinders to help people navigate through our campus so that they can get right to the services that they're looking for. As you know, we provide many services at BHN on that Liberty Street campus, but we would like to erect this sign to kind of serve as a beacon so that people know when they hit Liberty Street, they see that sign, they know that they've reached their destination if they're in search of care for mental health services. We have notified the Neighborhood Council, Lower Liberty Height Neighborhood Council. The site is zoned as an Industrial A. It's located within the area with primarily commercial use. To the north is a treatment facility zoned Industrial A. To the south is a railroad track. To the west is a treatment facility zoned Industrial A. And to the east is a warehouse zoned Industrial A.
Thank you very much. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Please step forward. Say again, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition, please step forward. Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in opposition, online or in person? Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Any questions from the council for the applicant? Say again, any questions from the council? Councilor Perez.
I just want to say that I'll be voting in favor of this petition. One of the problems that we have at Liberty is the lighting. And yes, it has been an issue when they try to locate the facility. As a matter of fact, sometimes they go to the wrong facility at the time because of not having some directions of the buildings. Just for a point of information. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Councilor Davila.
There you go. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Brown, good to see you, sir. I think my question perhaps was answered. I see this little, what do you call the thing? Picture that was being floated around. So this is sign going to go BHN. You said that it illuminates?
Yes, so if what you're looking at, so it says BHN, that will be the only part that's illuminated, and then underneath it writes out Behavioral Health Network. So that will only be visible during the daytime, but at night you will see the BHN and our arch.
So you say illuminated, like lights are going to hit it, it's not going to be flashy or anything like that?
Oh, no. It's going to be self-illuminated with LED lights.
Now I'm trying to orient myself here, Mr. Brown. Is this closer to, I believe, what it was called the living room is? Is it in that side?
Yeah, it's on
Or
the
is it
front,
actually on the?
it's on the
hill?
front side of the living room, yes. The living room is on the back, closer towards the railroad track.
Okay.
Yep.
That is kind of dark at night. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it won't affect it. There will be no light that'll shine in, but we have lit up the campus. If you drive by there at night, you'll see we did a much better job lighting the campus up because, again, we have employees leaving there now,
Right.
you know, at 12 o'clock at night. So we wanted to, you know, people to feel safe going to their cars.
Now, Mr. Brown, did I hear you say the good news that this is also a clinic?
Yes, so our 417 site is designated as a CBHC, which is a 24-hour on-demand clinic. So if someone is seeking services, they can go there.
Is that only for mental health services, or is that going to be medical services?
No, mental health services.
Mental health services.
Yes, but they do triage and they do an assessment for whatever the need is that the person is presenting for. And they make whatever referral is needed or recommended or necessary.
Right. I do, Mr. Brown, I do know. I remember when this was empty, this lot. And I sat vacant for many, many years. And I am happy that it's been put to very good use. And I am fully aware that you guys do, there's a lot of activity there. You guys do a good work there. So I will be happy to support this. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Any other councilors? Councilor Click Bruce.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for bringing this forth. I really didn't even know you guys were over there. How long have you guys been there?
Oh, man, a very long time.
Yeah? Okay.
You may know longer than me, yeah.
Yeah.
30
Okay.
or some odd years, I don't know.
All right, so that's great. I would love to visit the facility to get more of a tour of what's going on over there because, again, I just wasn't aware. So I want to make sure I acclimate myself to that facility because I deal with folks in the community all the time, and we need to get more resources to them regarding mental health because that's something that's obviously near and dear, close to all of our hearts, to make sure we have resources for our constituents and those that are in need. So again, I look to vote in favor of this, and great job with bringing this forth and making sure the residents of our city know where you guys are located at. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. I will say, too, that we have undergone tremendous renovations throughout our properties that I'm very proud to say that I've been able to lead, and with the leadership of the organization, they've been behind me. So I'm actually creating where we can do virtual tours. So you know how you can do when your people are selling houses and they do a virtual tour? Because I know it's not, we don't want to disrupt services and things of that nature, but at least people like you all and other bodies will be able to see the type of facilities now that we have to offer for people. Because here's what I realize is that mental health affects anybody. It can affect anybody, substance abuse, and it doesn't matter your economic standing or socioeconomic, anything. It affects everybody. So what we searched out to do is to make those facilities the type of facilities we will feel comfortable for our mother to be in, our children to be in. And I think we've succeeded at that. We still got a little bit more work to do. We still got some projects we're doing, but I'm excited for you all to see some of the work that we've done.
Thank you. Councilor Gavon.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Brown, for coming here and presenting this. I am very familiar with BHN, and you are right. I think they might have been back there probably 25 years, and they have a lot of resources back there. They do have the living room that somebody referenced, Councilor Davila did, and there's a lot of substance use services back there. They have the Hope Center. Is the respite back there too, I think?
Yes, we have respite, we have PAC
The
program.
PAC program, yeah. And then up on the top of the hill is the outpatient program. So I'm really excited that the CBHC is going to be back there for the residents in our city. And I'm glad that it is lit because down that street, I forgot the name of the street, it is kind of dark. So I'm excited to see what you guys do. And I'm excited about the virtual tours because, of course, we know about confidentiality. You know, you can't just go in there and start looking around because there's people there that, you know, their HIPAA laws should not be violated. So I'm looking forward to the virtual tours as well. And I certainly will be in support of this. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Gavon. Any other councilors? Okay. Seeing none, we will close the hearing. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of the special permit.
On approval of the special permit, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Abstain.
Abstain, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Permit is approved. Counselor Allen on the reasons.
Reasons for granting special permit are as follows. Reason number one, the specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. Number two, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Number three, adequate and appropriate facility will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. Number four.
Oh, Counselor Allen, your microphone, please.
And number four, to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of the findings.
Thank you, Counselor Allen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the reasons.
On approval of the reasons, Counselor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown.
Abstain.
Abstain, Counselor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Reasons are approved. Permit is approved. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Brown. Okay. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Next item is item number 6, is for a special permit for the reuse of an existing structure, more than 26 dwelling units, 41 units at the property known as 195 State Street.
Mr. Pulsifer, you have the floor. All right, we got to turn your mic on, Gordon. We got a new system since you were here last.
I'll start over.
Okay.
City Council President Fenton and City Councilors, good evening. My name is Gordon Pulsifer. I'm the owner of First Resource Companies, 2001 Washington Street, Hanover, Mass. Before I begin, I'd like to inform City Council that this year, First Resource Companies celebrates its 25th year in Springfield. On behalf of our company, thank you. On behalf of our company, I want to thank our dedicated employees who take care of all our buildings and all our families and residents of the city of Springfield. We now have 6 offices in downtown Springfield, and we're real excited to talk to you further about these special permits tonight. I stand before you to talk about and ask for your renewal on 2 special permits. The City Council heard these permits back in February of 2022. The first permit is for a special permit of 195 State Street. This is the old school superintendent building. It's currently owned by the City of Springfield. We received funding approximately a year ago from the state. However, it was conditioned upon solving the parking issue. You may remember when the permit was approved over 2 years ago, it was conditioned by no parking and receiving a special variance for no parking. Well, we received that variance. However, the state conditioned our funding on parking and finding some parking for its residents. Well, I'm happy to announce that the city worked very hard at this, and combining all our efforts with the museum, library, they have agreed to sell us a portion of the parking lot. We're required for this building to have 43 spaces, and this portion of the parking lot that they're selling us will have 43 spaces. So we no longer need a variance under the special permit. So that's been at work the last 2.5 years, and it's been accomplished, and the city has been instrumental in working this through with us. It's important that our residents have parking, and in this part of the city, there is no parking, and people are forced to go and pay for parking and so forth, and we're very happy to have this. So I'm asking City Council to renew our permit. We're ready to start implementing the construction of these 41 units and move this project forward. I'm happy to take any questions that the council may have.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pulsifer. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? 1 second, Councilor. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Say again. Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition this evening? Say again. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Any questions from the council for the applicant? Councilor Whitfield?
Oh, I'd be so happy when I get the green light. Thank you, Mr. President. Hi, Gordon. How are you?
Hi, Councilor Whitfield.
So I just want to say you've done some amazing work throughout the city with your properties. I called you last week with an issue. You were very responsive, called me right back, offered to utilize your cameras if we need to, offered to help with the noise that was happening over by the Knox building. Appreciate all that. But I do remember this special permit, and I do remember some of the things that we discussed back then. It was like, how do we get local folks that have construction companies in Springfield to learn the skills that you have as far as like getting tax credits and some of the things that you have been able to be successful and build a fortune on and rent right here in Springfield. I was very clear and adamant that we need some type of mentorship program or something to help smaller local developers and contractors learn the skills and the trade. And I actually called you, and you were not helpful to me. You weren't. You kind of was like, why don't you go to such and such? And I actually did. I went to Wayfinders and I talked to someone who is probably just as experienced as you in tax credit and getting the help that we need. It was kind of like a brush off to me, and I was surprised at that response. I just want to be honest with you. I was surprised because I think a good corporate person that's built a lot of properties that's benefiting greatly off of the rents and revenues that's coming out of the city of Springfield should be more willing to help some of our smaller construction companies learn. They're not going to take your business. There's a lot of business throughout the state and in other states, but just giving a hand out, a hand up, a mentorship program or something to help construction companies that would like to be in the same place as you, I don't think that that's a lot to ask for, Mr. Pulsifer. And I love that you give to our community events and our social services, and all those things are fun, but we want to build generational wealth just like you have. And we want to close the racial wealth gap that was created by the black and white divide in this country. That's what we want. That's what I want to see. And you're not the only one that I asked for. It was your response to me that was disappointing to me. And I don't know if you remember it, but I remember it because I was shocked by the response. So I'm going to ask you again, would you consider you or someone in your organization helping our up-and-coming developers that just want to learn, help us learn. Like, help us learn. That's all we want to do. We want the same opportunities as everybody else. Someone helped you once upon a time. You actually worked for, I remember your whole story, you actually worked for a company that when tax credits first came out, and you got right into it, and that's how you learned it, and then you started your own company, and you kind of like mastered that. that skill set, but you learned it from somewhere. And so that's all we're asking for too. Like, you're gonna continue to do business in the city of Springfield, then we need something in return. And I'm not saying that you don't do great jobs on your properties, because you do. You have great security system. I can't take any of that from you. You do great, and you build very nice units. Your units are beautiful. But just asking for a little bit more.
Councilor Whitfield, if I may respond, I don't recall the incident that you refer to, but I'm more than happy to work with you or anybody else to talk about tax credits. I think I've talked to you a little bit about it. It's a very complicated business, as you could imagine. You know, I'm more than happy to share or help anybody, and again, I don't recall the exact details of what you're referring to, but you have my number, you and I talk, and more than happy to help any way I can.
That's all I ask. That's fair. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Any other questions? Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I definitely want to thank Mr. Pulsifer for the work that he does in the community. He's definitely done a lot of work in my area. A lot of times it seems like with these, with the housing, it doesn't seem like we get enough. As soon as before you can build them, it seems like they're filled up. Are you finding a hard time dealing with that? Because honestly, it seems, how are you guys combating that? It seems like no one can find prop rental space.
It's hard. 30 days ago, we all met in Boston, and the governor signed the new Affordable Homes Act, which is a $5.1 billion bill. That's more than 2.5 times what they've approved in previous years. I'm happy to say I worked very hard on that. In fact, a lot of the credits that we use out in Springfield are this historic credits, state historic credits. We doubled that from $55 million a year to $110 million a year. And a lot of that comes out here because we have a lot of historic buildings, so we can access those resources. Secretary of State's office and Mass Historic Commission manages those funds, and they're very excited about sending money out here to Springfield. So, but getting back to your question, Councilor Brown, it's very hard. We sit here today asking for 2 special permits to be renewed. 1 hasn't been funded. We've waited all this time. The permit's expired. We're in there slugging it out with every other city and town in this Commonwealth. And it's not easy. We have a great track record. They love sending resources out here to Springfield because they see what we do with them. At the Knox building, 96 apartments, we had several thousand applicants, almost 4,000. We're required to hold lotteries. Most of those applications go to local residents. And so it's a challenge. We have wait lists at all our properties, and we're going after all the resources we can, Councilor Brown, to bring them out here and to rehab these buildings and create more housing for the city of Springfield.
Thank you. And one last. As far as state, and I know the state and federal, we've been dealing with rent control. How have the state and federal, have they helped with you being able to help address that? Because I know you do a pretty good job with making sure a lot of the apartments are affordable and things like that. But we know rent is going out of the roof, and I'm just wondering, is there anything we can do, or the state, like what can we do to help with some of that stuff?
When you see me at this podium asking for approval on things, we use all affordable housing programs, and those rents are all restricted. They're all restricted at what they call tax credit rents, which aren't below market. So that's where we don't get to pick the rents. It's not a market-driven rent. It's established.
Thank you for the work you do. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Pulsifer, thank you for your presentation, sir. If you could be kind enough to give me some clarity, it says 26 dwelling 40/41 units. I'm confused, it's 26 or 41?
Right, so there's a building right next to it that has 20 units. That's why it's 60. But that's already an apartment building, so we're not seeking a special permit. That's why it's 62 units in the description.
In one building, or are they split?
There's 21 in one building.
Oh, 21 in one building.
And there's
Okay, I got you.
41 in the special permit that I'm asking
Got
to
you.
be approved.
Understood. Now, Mr. Pulsifer, please enlighten me. I said for the reuse of existing structure, I think you want us to renew the permit. Is that what you said?
Correct.
What happened? Why do you need a renewal?
We need a renewal because it expired. It was approved February of 2022, and it expires after 2 years. And we've been busy trying to get the parking nailed down, so we didn't need a variance for it.
People are living there now? No, so okay.
Right, I don't need a variance, parking variance any longer, because now we have the parking for the project.
Okay, I see, okay. So once it's done, people will be able to move in,
Correct, we're just waiting for the final funding amounts, and we can start.
Okay, so do you have to do any remodeling there, or are they?
Well, the building's wide open inside, and so we're going to create 41 apartments.
41, okay. I do, I want to make a comment, Mr. Pulsifer. I do remember very vividly this permit. I remember the back and forth. I remembered some of the concerns that I had at the time. And I do want to, Mr. Pulsifer, put in the record and recognize that, in my opinion, you have done an absolutely outstanding job in that area. Not only, in my opinion, those buildings are good-looking buildings. They're always clean. They're very well lit. I've never heard of any problem in that particular, on this particular area. And I would say that you have transformed that area. I know there has been some small mom and pops restaurants that have opened there. And so I am very excited that you are creating this, that you have persisted and you want to open this up. As we all know, Mr. Pulsifer, we do have a housing crisis here in the city of Springfield, and every little bit helps. And not only every little bit helps, but good quality housing. And I think that you, sir, are achieving that. And so I will be very happy to vote for this, to give you the permit, to reuse the permit again. And so my compliments to you.
Thank
and
you.
my compliments for being a partner, Mr. Pulsifer, here in the city, because I see this as a partnership. And thank you. I will be happy to vote for this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Any other councilors? Councilor Curran?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Pulsifer, yes, just to,
Has to be green.
all right, thank you. To reiterate what Councilor Davila said, you did a great job on the Knox building. It really stands out and complements the motorcycle building. And for my fellow councilors, Mr. Pulsifer has been engaged with the community. He was an early supporter of Ben Swan Way, and was enthusiastic about that when we put those that event together. So I compliment you on that as well. We are having a discussion, Gordon, in the Economic Development Committee about new development and new construction, and the size of apartments for developers coming in here. We had an outside developer who was able to gain approval of a permit for construction of 3 apartment buildings, and the square footage of the apartments in the buildings was roughly 275 square feet by his own admission. And, you know, that doesn't compare to Boston. It was my understanding where the city of Boston, Mayor Menino, really pushed that new construction would have to be a 450 square foot minimum for a studio. I believe that's the size of a studio, not a 1-bedroom. So we are in discussions here in the city about having a minimum of 500 square feet. And just my question to you is this not the State Street project or the other project, what is the minimum square foot of the apartments that you're going to be building here?
Well, generally, the smallest is 450 square feet, and that's a studio.
Yeah.
And smaller than that doesn't make sense. And under our housing programs, they have minimums. And I believe 450 is the minimum. And then it goes up from there.
Yeah. What would be the impact if we were in the reasoning of 500 square feet is a couple of reasons. It's somewhat cheaper to build here in the city of Springfield than it would be in Boston. Secondly, obviously, the winters here are pretty severe. Whoever's going to be living in these apartments is going to be there 6-7 months of the year. So you want a livable, humane space. What would be the impact if, maybe on this development, if you were to increase the size from 450 to 500 square feet?
Well, I've never heard of anybody building a 250 square foot studio.
275.
275, yeah.
It's essentially like was an efficiency.
Yeah, and this is new construction?
This is new construction, correct, yeah. And we don't have a minimum in the city.
Yeah, well, if you're going to double that, it's going to double the price. You know, it's a square footage price. And
yeah. But for your project itself, so the minimum of your rooms are 450.
Right.
So if you kicked it up to 500 square feet, what it would be the...
It's not going to be a problem for us because most of our projects are in historic buildings.
Yeah.
And the space is already defined. It may be difficult in some buildings where you have a nice studio that's 450. That's my only point.
Yeah.
And I think if it's a housing program like First Resource Companies does, I think you could be comfortable with the guidelines that the state requires in their allocation plan.
This is just a policy question, not related to your development, but if we were to mandate the minimum to be 500 square feet in general across the city with this new state bond bill going forward, we're going to have new developers coming in here building. I mean, do you think that's going to hinder housing construction to 50 square feet extra?
I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
No.
Thank you for your answers and appreciate your continued interest in the city of Springfield.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Curran. Any other councilors? Councilor Govan?
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Pulsifer, for being here and for doing your presentation. And I am aware of all the property that you've developed in Springfield, which is always good-looking, and we need more of it. So along what Councilor Whitfield was saying, we have a lot of vacant buildings in our city that are just empty, sitting there, getting probably dilapidated and run down. If we had some sort of a program where, I know you can't build all of those because you're doing, it takes time. So if we could kind of partner with someone like maybe a small construction company and kind of like maybe mentor them to help them bring that building up and make apartments out of it, because we have a housing shortage in our state, in the country. There's a housing shortage. So I'm wondering if, you could figure out, I'm hoping you and Councilor Whitfield will get together and figure out a way to do that somehow, because we do have a lot of empty buildings that are run down. I don't want to necessarily see, people coming in and seeing a vacant lot that's not vacant because it's full of trees, and then cutting the trees down and building something. We already have buildings here that are probably really good buildings because they were built 100 years ago, and they built them, really good quality back then. So I really would encourage you to do that, because I know if you did that, the work that came out of it would be exceptional because of your history and your experience in our city. So I don't know, I would encourage you to do that, and I'd join Councilor Whitfield in conversations if we needed to, so we could get together and make something like that happen. That'd be amazing. Okay. But thank you, and I'm certainly going to support the special permit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Thank you. Oh, okay. Councilor Perez, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to inform the Armory Quadrangle Civic Association, now the Metro Center Association, has sent me a letter, and they are in full support of the project. I know there was an issue with the parking for the residents, but the issue has been resolved. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Any other councilors? Councilor Delgado.
I just have a quick comment, and echo all the sentiments of my colleagues. It's good to know that you're doing a great job. I don't have your number like Tracy Whitfield does, but I'll call her if I need you. But I guess my thing is this property has been vacant now for, what, over 15 years? It's been a long time.
Close to it.
And so I'm just hoping that you're the last one to kind of get it over the line. So is there a timeline that I missed? I might have missed it in your speaking portion.
The project hasn't been funded finally yet.
Okay.
But probably by year end or first quarter next year, we will have it funded. The state's already committed to fund it.
Okay.
They wanted the parking issue solved. That's the only outstanding issue they had. And the next permit I'm about to talk about is funded. So the state, the governor's office, Secretary of Housing, Ed Augustus, he's been to all these buildings, and he's really excited about getting these underway. So.
No, I'm excited too, and I'm looking forward to when we can finally have people actually living at 195 State Street. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Councilor Delgado. Any other councilors? Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gordon, I forgot to say I support the project. I do support the project. I just want to do a mentorship program, Gordon, that's it. But I forgot to say that. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you. You do great work in the city. Your properties are top-notch. Your staff is amazing and friendly, and you're responsive. And I didn't have Gordon on speed dial, but I sent him an email and he called me, so now I do. But thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Any other councilors? Okay. Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing and the hearing. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll on approval of the special permit?
On approval of the special permit, Councilor Walsh?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton?
Yes, more than sufficient. Permit is approved. Councilor Allen on the reasons.
The specific site is an appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. Number 2, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Number 3, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use. And number 4, to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of the findings.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on the reasons.
On approval of the reasons, Councilor Walsh?
Okay, it's green. Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez?
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton?
Yes, more than sufficient. Reasons are approved. Permit is issued. Congratulations. Madam Clerk, item number 7, please.
Item number 7 is for a special permit for the reuse of an existing structure, more than 26 units at the property known as 310 State Street.
Mr. Pulsifer, and please turn your microphone on.
City Councilors, good evening. My name is Gordon Pulsifer, owner of First Resource Companies, 2001 Washington Street, Hanover, Mass. I'm here to request the renewal of a special permit of 310 State Street in Springfield. This building was the original home of the Federal Land Bank of Springfield for many years. It was built for that purpose. It was one of 10 in the country approximately that issued land notes and worked with farmers and so forth. So it's a lot of history in this building. If you remember the building, it's a beautiful antique-looking building structure. It's was not on the National Register. We have submitted an application to put it on the National Register in Washington, D.C. It was actually just one street outside of the Lower Maple Historic District. This has been approved by Washington. It's also been approved by the governor of the Commonwealth to fund the project. We are ready to move forward and pull a building permit and start construction. It was issued in February of 2022, the same night as the previous permit. It has taken us this long to obtain funding for the project, and I'm asking City Council to renew this special permit. The building will have 52 apartments inside, an on-site management office, fully staffed, and parking spaces totaling 56, which is the requirement. No parking variance is required. Asking City Council this evening to renew our permit so we can get started.
Thank you, Mr. Pulsifer. Anyone else wishing to speak in favor of this petition, please step forward. Say again, anyone wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Say again, anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing. Any questions from the council for the applicant? Councilor Govan?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Gordon, where's the parking going to be at for this building?
It's all going to be in the surface lot that's currently there. There is a small grass lot to the left.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up and make it all level, all be surface.
Okay. And when you start construction, if we do the permit tonight, when will the units be ready?
We'd probably start January. Full construction, it'll take 14 months, so the following year, we'll hold a lottery and fill the building.
Thank you. I'm certainly in favor of this one as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Any other questions from the council? Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could you just remind us, Gordon, why it's called the vault?
We didn't know what to call it. And when we first walked inside, all we found were vaults. And what we're doing is we're making hallways go through those vaults.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it was a bank. And these vaults held deeds to all the land notes that they had. And so residents at the vault seemed appropriate.
Very nice. Well, I agree with all the comments my colleagues have made. I think that every project you've brought to the city of Springfield has improved the neighborhoods. And so I'm happy to support this and any future projects you bring. I think you've done a great job helping the city out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Any other councilors have a question? Councilor Brown?
I just had one quick. Where can people find the lottery, to be able to get access to that lottery? Because I know it's 1,000 people are going to ask us, how can they get?
We can send every city councilor a notice, but we're required by law to publish it.
Okay.
And every surrounding paper and so forth. So we can send a notice to each one of you. So.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Any other questions from the council? Okay, seeing none, that closes this portion of the hearing and the hearing. Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of the permit.
On approval of the permit, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello. Councilor Santinello. Away, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton?
Yes, more than sufficient. Permit is approved. Counselor Allen on the reasons.
Further reasons for granting special permit. Reason number one, the specific site is an appropriate location.
Yeah.
An appropriate location for such a use, structure, or condition. Number two, the use as developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. Number three, adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided for the proper operation of the proposed use.
I can't hear them.
Counselor Santinello, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Why?
We are gonna mute Counselor Santinello for now. And Counselor Allen, you can continue, please.
We have one to go here to number four, to incorporate the planning staff analysis into the decision as the basis of the findings.
Okay, on the reasons, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
On approval of the reasons, Counselor Walsh?
Yes, the reasons.
Yes, Counselor Allen?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Delgado?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Click Bruce?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Govan?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Brown?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Davila?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Curran?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Santinello? Counselor Santinello? Away, Counselor Edwards?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Whitfield?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Perez?
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton?
Yes, more than sufficient. Reasons are approved. Permit is granted. Congratulations. Thank you, Mr. Pulsifer. Okay, Madam Clerk, we have 3 items on under suspension. Let's start with item number 8, please. These are all street namings.
Item number 8 is for an honorary street sign in honor of Gerald J. Griffin, Sr.
Okay, Counselor Click Bruce.
We have Counselor Brown. He was a co-sponsor. I believe Desi Jackson may be online as well, but Counselor Brown.
Okay, Counselor Brown.
Yes. I can't.
Counselor Brown, you have the floor.
Like my colleague, Councilor LeVar Click Bruce stated, this is something that me, him, and the community, Desi Jackson, is an iconic figure, Jay Griffin, who's been around forever. He's one of the founders and directors of the Stone Soul. He's a mentor, a legend, and an icon in our community. This is something that should have been done a long time ago. It's an honor to have the opportunity to honor this this leader in our community. So this is just a street sign in honor of actual Jay Griffin. And I also would like to give my colleague, Councilor Click Bruce, co-sponsor, some chance to speak on the matter also.
Thank you, Counselor Brown. Counselor Click Bruce.
Yeah, so thank you, Counselor Brown. Gerald J. Griffin is also known as being one of our park commissioners. As Mr. Counselor Brown alluded to, he's one of the founding members of the Stone Soul Festival, which brings thousands of people annually to our city of Springfield to enjoy just a fellowship with free food, rides, concerts, give a gospel concert, and it gives folks the opportunity to go on stage to perform in front of their community. I remember as a kid, going to the Stone Soul and playing in the basketball tournament, going on rides, or seeing all the folks you haven't seen all summer, and getting ready for school. We used to go after Labor Day, but now we go before. So that was like that last rush to see everybody at the festival. And not only here for the city of Springfield, but those that moved away from this great city, they come back to do that. And also is economic development where folks can, small businesses can make money. So definitely in support of Jay. And also I want to put on record, he's not doing too well physically. So I've always when we do these, I think it's important that we do them while they're living, especially those that really paved the way and did so great for our community. Why should we wait until they pass away to say we want to honor this person? Thank you to Desi Jackson, who brought this to our attention, and thank you, Councilor Braun, for us co-sponsoring this. I'm going to recuse myself from the actual vote because some down the line he is related to me through my dad. So, I definitely encourage my colleagues to support this.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Any other councilors? Councilor Whitfield.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilors Brown and Click Bruce, for bringing this forward. Thank you, Desi. I seen your name on the application for getting it started. I think this is a very needed honorary street sign for Jay Griffin. I also want to mention Joyce Davis because she's also a co-founder of the Stone Soul, and she is my children's grandmother. So I want to she doesn't get as much recognition, but she was there. And I remember when she was there because I was dating her son, oh gosh, many moons ago. but I think that Councilor Click Bruce is right. We got to give people their flowers when they're alive. And so I definitely support this and would like to be added as a co-sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Govan.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I want to thank Councilor LeVar Click Bruce and Councilor Brown and Desi Jackson for bringing this forth. I know Jay from a very long time ago. He was instrumental in the beginning when we had the AIDS crisis that was coming on board. I actually was one of the volunteers in his program in Northern Educational Services. And he helped me to basically start my career in social services. So I really think that this would be appropriate. What street is it that we're going to be honorary naming? Do you know? Quincy? Thank you. Okay, yeah, Quincy. I think that's very appropriate. Every time I see Jay, I kiss him and I love him because he's been around for a very long time doing a lot of work in the community. So I think this is very appropriate, and I would like to be added as a co-sponsor as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Councilor Allen.
This is appropriate. Jay Griffin's been emblematic of in the African American community. His name has been consistently a name you heard for years. Stone Soul, NES, and other things. So it's great that we get a chance to honor him, and I appreciate you guys bringing it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh.
Thank you, Council President. I'd also like to add my name. Jay Griffin was a great friend of my husband, Danny, and the two of them did a lot for basketball in the city of Springfield. So I definitely want to support this.
Thank you, Councilor Walsh. Councilor Edwards.
I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but I believe he was also a part of the original group that started the original Harambe. And I've had much respect for this man for many decades. So I'd like to be added as a sponsor. I'm very appreciative of his lifetime of contribution to the city of Springfield and its residents. And I'm really sorry to hear that his medical condition is worsened, but my prayers go out to him and to his family as well. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. Councilor Davila.
Keep forgetting the mic there, Mr. President. My apologies. Starting over again, I will be supporting this. It's quite a tribute to Jay, somebody who has, co-founded the Stone Soul Festival, which is a staple in the community. It's a festival I myself enjoy a lot. And also the reenactors, Troop E. often I see them at the pancake breakfast here in Springfield. So it was quite a good tribute. My prayers are to him for speedy recovery, and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Councilor Perez?
Yes, I just want to say that I want to be at also as well. I know Jay for so many, many years. And one of the things that Jay, when he was creating the Stone Soul, developing it, he invited the Latino community and welcomed us to be part of that committee. So please include me, and I hope it's the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Unless there's any objections from councilors, I would ask the clerk to add us all as co-sponsors for this honorary street naming. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll on the honorary street naming for Jay Griffin.
On approval, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
There seems to be something that has just happened on our screens here that's...
Yeah.
Focus Springfield, it's prompting us to vote on our screens here.
Oh, I love that idea.
Okay, there we go. I think we're back to normal. Go ahead.
We should be able to do that.
We might be doing that in the future, but this is not the beta test for that yet.
I would love that.
Okay, so Madam Clerk, please back to the roll.
Oh, Councilor Walsh.
I thought I already voted, but I'll vote for Jay twice.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado. Both your microphones are on. One of you has to turn off. Thank you. Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Recuse.
Recuse, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello. Away, Councilor Edwards.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, one sufficient. Honorary street sign is approved. Item number 9, Madam Clerk.
Item 9 is an honorary street sign in honor of Reverend Juan Carde.
Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this petition for Reverend Carde? Mr. Roldan?
Yes, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Councilor, for holding this and putting on your agenda today. I am here to ask for a street naming to a special leader in our community, a mentor and a spiritual father to a lot of leaders. Jose Claudio and myself were brought up in this church, and many of our youth that are samples out in the world right now are probably came from that church. And we hope our pastor is one of the first pastors that Latino in the city of Springfield that opened a Spanish church. So with that being, a mentor and not only breaking ground, we submitted this honorary naming of the street due because it was the street that we're going to name is at the corner of Bancroft and Chestnut. It's funny because he lived on Bancroft and then the church was on Chestnut. So this is why I'm here today, and I ask for your support.
Thank you, Mr. Roldan. Any councilors? Councilor Perez?
Yes, Mr. President, I will say that I've been in this community for over 45 years, and I think that Reverend Juan Carde was one of the ones that put the motto in place of having bank food for the people. I remember people going, and myself as well. Back then, I was a single mom, and he did care for the community as well. And I am 100% backing up this support. I also have to inform that the New North Citizen Council had a meeting in June 11, and they are recommending the naming on the street as well. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Any other councilors? Okay. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll on approval of the honorary street sign.
On approval of the honorary street sign, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello. Away, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Counselor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. Honorary street sign for Reverend Carde is approved.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mr. Roldan. Madam Clerk, item number 10, our last item.
Item 10 is for an honorary street sign in honor of Bishop Talbert Swan.
Councilor Click Bruce.
Yeah, thank you. Bring this before the City Council to recognize someone who in our community has really championed and been an activist. I think I'm 39, so I think he's been doing it longer than 39 years. So he's been doing it a long time, and specifically to the Black community, really advocating for the Black and Browns, making sure racial equality, all the things that we have been denied over the years, not only here in the city of Springfield, but throughout this world. Bishop advocates for many of folks. And again, I echo what I said earlier. We want to recognize those that are living and alive and well, so that way, you know, our kids and those that are coming up in the community can see a street sign and say, well, who's this? And we can't, you know, we don't want to say, you know, hey, this person passed away 50 years ago, and we decided to name it after them. Well, we actually have someone that's living right now where you can actually go get some knowledge from Bishop Swan. And not only the legacy that he picked up from his, I believe it was his uncle or brother, don't quote me, but Bishop took over that Springfield Hope Church over there on the corner at Six Corners and really brought it to new heights. That's what the legacy that he leaves over there. And the reason why we wanted to bring this forth on all three of these under suspension, because we have plans to honor them quite frankly very quickly. I do know Bishop is having something on September 7th, the Hope Fest. So we were looking to get these in front of the council. As we know, we don't meet until September 15th, I believe the date is. So again, I urge our councilors to support Bishop. He has supported, I want to say, probably everybody in this room at some point, and or maybe it was a foe to someone in this room, but it was all in good candor. So again, Bishop, I want to really honor you as being my friend, someone who I can count on for having my back, and not only my back, my family's and the community's back. So again, I appreciate you, and then wanted to bring this forth for the council. I also want to see if any, obviously our councilors, but if anybody from the family that is from Bishop family that is here, because it's been a long night, I want to give them the opportunity to have a few words if they so do so. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Click Bruce. Before we open it up to any members of the Swan family who'd like to speak, let's just get to the rest of the councilors. Councilor Govan, then Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. And again, thank you, Councilor Click Bruce, for bringing this name forth. I remember being out on the streets with Bishop Swan when we were protesting I think it was the biomass plant. And we were working with Arise. So he is a staunch social justice warrior, and I think I agree it's time for us to honor people while they're here so that they know that we honor them. So I would certainly be in favor of this and would be asked to be added on to as a co-sponsor of this street naming. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Govan. Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank Councilor Click Bruce. This is definitely an iconic figure. He runs the NAACP, so he basically fights for black injustice, but not only just black injustice. Being a bishop, a man of God, he fights for all injustice. And if you guys look in the paper, you guys will see his approach. He doesn't whisper. He comes with a godly boldness. And if you want somebody who's going to come in and definitely fight for you, and sit there and pound and go at it for you. This is the man who's known to do it. I've always watched him and admired him, and he is still a mentor to all of us as far as young black men striving to be leaders in this community. A lot of times people might look at myself and my example. These leaders, they help shape me and my boldness. If you look at Talbert Swan, Bishop Swan, he is one of the boldest, strongest leaders, and I commend him for his effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Brown. Any other councilors? Councilor Allen?
Thanks, Mr. President. A few years ago, there was a tough situation at Nathan Bill's, and many people were protesting against Nathan Bill's, and I was able to bring together a few people, Councilor Hurst at the time, the woman who runs, Tara, that runs PVP, and Reverend Swan, and a couple other people. And we were able to come to an agreement of how to get over that moment when things were pretty uncomfortable and pretty stressful for people. And I enjoyed working with him in that context, and did a really good job. And we were able to get through that moment and get back on track. So I appreciate and respect the work he did that day, and enjoyed working with him. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Allen. Councilor Davila.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think it's quite a fitting tribute to a man who has been extremely passionately vocal for what he sees as justice in Springfield. And in my book, that deserves a lot of respect. I remember marching with the bishop during the Eric Garner incident quite a few years back, and how we marched. And we marched together, and we were not afraid. And the bishop always speaks truth to power, makes people uncomfortable when they have to be made uncomfortable. And it's a man, Bishop Swan, in my opinion, is one of the consequential men in the city. A man who I think shakes our conscience, shakes our community, and challenges us to be better. So I will be happy to vote for this, and I ask the Madam Clerk respectfully to add me as a co-sponsor to this. And please let me know when the sign goes up. I definitely want to be there. And thank you, Mr. President. God bless.
Thank you, Councilor Davila. Any other councilors?
I'd like to be
Edwards.
added.
Councilor. Got a lot of comments at once. So Councilor Brown would like to be added as a co-sponsor. Councilor Edwards would like to be heard, and Councilor Whitfield, and then we'll come back to the people. Okay, so Councilor Edwards.
I'd like to take the opportunity to echo many of the comments that have been made, particularly the fact that he does say things that makes many segments of our community uncomfortable. But we need to be uncomfortable sometimes. We don't have to always agree on his methods or the comments that he makes, but let us appreciate the fact that he stands up and he does speak for those who align with his thoughts. Nobody's questioning his faith and his love of God and his role as a minister. I think that, as it was said earlier, we do need to honor people while they're still alive. Tomorrow is not promised to any of us. So the thing is we should not have to wait for people to be on their deathbed or close to death or have passed to be honored. He will not, I'm sure he'll appreciate the fact that this is happening at a time in his life where he can enjoy the honor. And as I said, he is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I do appreciate the people in our community that sometimes makes us look in the mirror and sometimes make us feel uncomfortable because of the conversations they force us to have. So I'd be happy to be a sponsor for this as well.
Thank you, Councilor Edwards. Councilor
Bishop Swan. There's a lot of things that I could say about Bishop Swan. But one thing I am going to say, he is a man that I know I always got to carry a dictionary with whenever we are talking or he's giving a speech, because I'm like, what, Bishop? Can you tell me that in layman's terms? But what I appreciate about him is he has those tough, hard conversations. And when I first ran for city council, I didn't know him really from anywhere. And I went to him and I got a little bit of boldness and I asked him to support me when I ran. And he said he has never supported a candidate before. And this was the first time, and he was going to support me and LaTonya Naylor. We were going to be the first two candidates that he ever supported. So that gave me a respect for him because he didn't know me, and he just took a chance on me. And Councilor Allen, I was the other person that you couldn't think of. I know. I seen you like, who was the last one? But with the Nathan Bills incident, and he gave us the confidence that we could do this. We're going to show everyone that this is going to be a peaceful protest, and I'm glad that we were able to get in the room and come to a resolution based on your leadership, Councilor Allen, also. But Bishop Swan, I love the fact that he'll tell it like it is, and he doesn't care who it is, he will say it. And I appreciate that because I'm a lot like that in a lot of ways. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say how I feel. I'm going to tell my truth. A lot of times we got to hide our truth because of who we are and what we've been through. And it's not fair. We should be able to speak our mind, and he gives that bold confidence. Do I agree with every single thing that's said and done? No, I don't. But I respect the fact that he will stand strong in what he believes and gives me that same confidence to do the same. So please add me to the resolution, and I support it.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, to the sign, I don't know where we're at. I was late. To the name signing, yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilor Whitfield. Councilor Walsh. Is there anyone else who'd like to be heard?
That's all I wanted.
Councilor Allen?
Yes.
Your mic's not on.
I had forgotten to mention Councilor Whitfield was also part of that group, so
Okay.
I was just adding that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Councilor Perez.
Yes. Let me tell you something. I love the radio station because Bishop Swan, I gotta agree with my colleague said as it is. I recall one time that we were in a very controversial issue. And you know what? You go to bed and you pray that you make the right decision. Although it was very controversial, he made me think. And I think to this day, I did what I was supposed to do. Thank you to his guidance. I vote the right way. Thank you, Bishop Swan, for always saying it as it is. And please add me to the sponsorship.
Thank you, Councilor Perez. Any other councilors? Okay, Councilor Kern. Councilor Kern would also like to be added. Any other councilors? Okay, seeing none, Councilor Click Bruce mentioned that there may be members of the Swan family or his friends and colleagues who'd like to speak on his behalf tonight. I'd invite those members of the public who are participating remotely to, at this time, speak up and be heard if you'd like to be heard. Is there anyone who'd like to testify tonight, other than those who've been heard? Okay.
I'm sorry, I know. And/or Bishop Swan want to say anything. I think this will be the appropriate time.
Of course, certainly. We have Tina Burston, and then we'll get to Mr. Brown.
Sorry.
Tina Burston would like to be heard. Tina?
Thank you, everyone on the council, for the opportunity to share. I just want to say, as a citizen and living in Springfield all my life, I did not know him when I was younger. I met him in my adult life. And I feel like I met him at the most important time in my life as an educator, and a Black woman who has dealt with a lot of situations that were controversial and things that happened in the city. Under his leadership and his guidance and his boldness to speak the hard truths, things that we don't want to hear, I have been able to take what I'm learning from him, watching what I'm seeing him do in our city and out of the city, digest it, go back, study, do my own research from it to get better understanding. And I'm thankful for that, for him being someone that I know personally, but I also, I thank him for giving me the opportunity to start to be a person who's being more vocal in the community, speaking out, doing things that I would have waited for others to do. He's giving me the strength through his leadership and guidance to say, I'll take the lead and I'll do what's right. And so I want him to be honored with the naming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Burston. Is there anyone else participating remotely who'd like to be heard? Bishop Swan?
Mr. President, thank you so very much. And thank you, Councilor Click Bruce, for sponsoring this, and for each of your colleagues who have spoken tonight. Your words are heartfelt. I appreciate the work that you all do every day in terms of for our city and advancing the city of Springfield. I've had the wonderful opportunity through the years to work with each and every one of you, sometimes on the same side of an issue, sometimes on the opposite side of an issue. But I'm grateful for the opportunity that has been afforded to me in the city of my birth. Although I've had a great opportunity to do work literally across the nation, Springfield is always home. Alden Street is the place where that is my holy see, where we do our work at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ. I'm honored to have taken that ministry over from the man that I was named after. And this is a signal honor, and I appreciate each and every one of you for your support on tonight. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Bishop Swan. Anyone else who'd like to be heard this evening on the street naming petition? Okay, seeing none. Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
On approval of the street naming, Councilor Walsh.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Allen.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Delgado.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Click Bruce.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Govan.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Davila.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Curran.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Santinello.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Edwards.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Whitfield.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Perez.
Yes.
Yes, Councilor Fenton.
Yes, more than sufficient. The honorary street naming is approved. Congratulations, Bishop Swan. Madam Clerk, any more business before this body?
There's not.
Okay, councilors, we will stand adjourned. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 16th. There's some holidays intervening that are creating that delay. I also just want to tell councilors, actually, Focus Springfield, if you could let us know when the video is cut, please, for the meeting. It all cut? Okay. One last thing. Because we have Kelly's